going to be running a Pathfinder one-shot with this delightful crew of friends. It was not a V word. You can't prove that. We're raising money for Jasper's Game Day, which is an incredibly important organization to me. In a very personal sense, even this past Christmas, I had almost lost someone who was close to me, and thankfully and fortunately, they are still here. They are doing well, but suicide prevention and awareness is something that we are desperately in need of more across the board. And one of the beautiful things is that games offer us a way to engage and sometimes just be the person that we want to be and explore it. And sometimes getting to live outside of that, getting to live your fantasy and your excitement is everything that you really want and need. So thank you, Jasper, for giving us a platform and the ability to do that and tell these stories. And thank you, all of you, for helping to support this incredible cause. Please donate during the stream because there are plenty of weird things that you can apply to this party. And also, I guess me. And there is one that most of them don't know about. I think it's the 100 one.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about that.
Gabe, how could you?
It's more for me. It's more for me than anything else. All of you will know what it is, but it's going to get
weird.
Be
concerned?
Look, okay.
Yes, you should.
If gunpowder is on the floor, it doesn't mean you should be concerned. It just matters if there's also fire in the room. Does that make sense? Anyways, I introduced myself. Let's go around the table. First, we're going to start with Morgan because Morgan kept laughing and then making panicked eyes, and I saw it.
Fair. That's fair. That is what I do. Hi, everybody. I'm Morgan Peter Brown. So happy to be back here with Jaspers. Happy to lovingly support this cause. It means a lot to me as well. Happy holidays. I'm an actor, producer, and a professional roller of dice on The Dungeon Run, twitch.tv/The Dungeon Run. Check us out on Wednesday nights and on our YouTube. But yeah, I can't wait to play with this group, including my friend Jen Kretchmer, who's next, who we've never played like this before.
Yeah, this is the first time we streamed together, which is really exciting. We've been friends for 10 years before we were either doing this as a job, and basically Morgan described several of my jobs. I am also an author. I wrote one of the Adventures in Candlekeep Mysteries. I worked on Haunted West, which just came out and is fantastic. You can find that on Darker Hue Studios. I'm a disability consultant and the creator of the Accessibility in Gaming Resource Guide, which you can find in my pinned tweet on Twitter. I am at DreamWisp. I also just had a really fun video come out on Matt Colville's channel yesterday, where I get to talk at length about one of my favorite games, which is 10 Candles. I'm also a Jasper's Game Day ambassador, so I am really, really excited to be here playing with all of these wonderful people and supporting this incredible cause that is so important to me. Destigmatizing mental health is so key to everything all the time, but in particular in the last couple of years, and moving forward. So discussing mental health, finding the resources you need, which there are a bunch on the Jasper's website. If you need help, please ask for it because it's available to you. And be there to support folks who might need it as well. Please donate and support this incredible organization if you can. Anything you have to help helps. And if that's not something that's in the cards right now, it's the holidays, it's a tough time, please just boost this event and try and help get eyes on it. So thanks for being here. Who am I throwing to? I don't.
Anybody.
Ron!
Hello. Hello.
Thank you, Morgan.
Just following the screen.
Thank you, Jen. And thank you, Morgan. Hello. My name's Ron Ogden. I also play on the Dungeon Run with Morgan Peter Brown on Wednesdays. I am not a Jasper's ambassador, but this is my 4th or 5th time now playing with Jasper's and helping raise money for something that is very close to my personal heart. As a survivor myself, this is very important to me, and I go out of my way to make sure that I can do this. So thank you all for joining us, even if you're just here to support and watch and share. And if you're here to donate, thank you. Thank you so much. Someone just like me may be saved because of something that you have done. So thank you so much. Once again, my name is Ron Ogden. You can find me everywhere on the internet, The Real Rogden. Tonight, I'm going to play Squick, a rat folk cleric.
We are.
All right.
And now who do I throw it to?
Ron just overzealous. Anybody. Except for
anybody?
the two that spoke.
I'm going to throw it over to Jay.
Well, thank you, Ron, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Jay, also known as Nofa3 on the socials, and also Jasper's is, again, like most people here, extremely important to me. I'm a content creator, a streamer at times, very new to this because of Jasper's, because of a few years ago when Jasper started getting into the internet, I jumped in as a player and now I'm a GM. So I can blame it and thank Jasper's for all the stuff I do. I'm, like I said, a Star Wars GM for Jasper's at times and also on some other channels. I am so happy to be here again. And played with some of you already, and I'm looking forward to the shenanigans. And I will declare this. Please donate. Again, for all of us, this is a great charity and a one to my heart. And if you like, please donate, and I will do what I can to what the audience would like. So I'm throwing that challenge out. So there we go. And we're going to pass it up to, since we're kind of moving around, John, who are you? Oh, 1 second. I am also playing the human wizard, evoke wizard named Moa Katratz Ravencraft the Seventh.
Why are you like this?
John.
Hi, I'm John Wicky. I'm for Jasper Game Day, but I'm here because I love to support the cause. I play in GM home games. Really love how to get in on the spot. I'm also going to be the host of an upcoming podcast called 20 Minute Tabletop. It's really all a little fun thing I'm doing on the side. But yeah, I'm here and I'm playing a rat folk ranger who likes to hunt monsters because she wants to write about them all. But they're easier when they're dead. We're to Friday.
Fair.
You know what? I feel like going to Friday to wrap us up is the nicest thing, because Friday is the day when it's like, all right, finally, this is the one that makes sense. This is when everything is normal. Friday, please don't say something that terrifies me.
I would never do anything like that, Gabe.
Oh God,
I'm Friday. You can find me It's Friday TV, like on Twitter. I'm a performer, writer, production manager in this space. I do various things. I'm on Kobold Press's Tuesday show, Empire of the Ghouls campaign. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really happy to be supporting a cause, Jasper's Game Day. Very good cause, so please donate if you can. And that's it.
Just in case they're still here, hi, Tiny Mouse. If you're still sitting on Bard Mouse's lap, hello. And I guess I didn't say this. Some of you might not know, I actually have written for Pathfinder. I worked on the recent book, The Mwangi Expanse. I worked on Walkina, the Child God. I worked on the City of Blood Cove. And I worked on a third part, but I'm not going to say which one that is because it's going to show up here. And people who know Pathfinder and Paizo will probably worry about all of you.
I forgot to mention that we just launched my Starfinder iconic. I've been sitting on it for so long, I forgot I can talk about it.
Yes.
But yeah, we launched Siravel, who's the Starfinder iconic that I worked on too. Last week. Time has no meaning.
Yeah, time is irrelevant.
I'm really proud of her. She's really, really cool. She's the new precog, so check her out on the blog.
Time has no meaning whatsoever.
No meaning at all.
None.
Non-IP specific wormhole.
I know Douglas Adams said time is an illusion, lunchtime doubly so. I think that's now reversed.
Yes. Agreed.
That makes sense.
Non-IP specific wormholes start to appear, and it's not because I rewatched Spider-Verse yesterday. A wormhole starts to appear right in front of you, actually, Yolo. And Yolo, please describe yourself for us and where you are in this moment.
Well, right now, Yolo is a 6 foot tall, blonde human with some face paint, and he's standing behind a counter of a bar, cleaning a mug, wrapping up things for the night. And yeah, that's Yolo. He's got his equipment. He's a human fighter, so he's got his equipment sitting beside him behind the bar, as things tend to get a little rowdy on evenings.
As you are cleaning, this wormhole appears, and you see what looks to be almost a golden lion that looks as if they were made of fire, looking at you through this wormhole, and then turns their face and starts walking in and looks over their shoulder as if waiting for you to follow.
Yolo's gonna set his mug down and the heck is that? Oh, this he checks the mug to make sure. Sets it down. All right, well, people always been tempting me to go out and make my own way out there. Always coming in here with their pathfinding stories. Suppose I ought to. And then he's going to pick up his gear and sling it over his shoulder before stepping in. Well, here's hoping I don't get split up into 1,000 pieces.
And as you walk into
Why
this
would you
gate,
say that?
Hey, you're the one that volunteered something before Morgan.
Said given.
Yes. You walk through and there is a warm feeling. And then the camera almost pans to another figure. We see Squick. Squick, could you re-describe yourself for us and tell us where you are in this moment?
Of course. Hi, I'm Squick. I'm a rat folk of snow. I'm a snow rat folk, so I'm fully white with black whiskers, and I stand about 3.5 feet tall. And where you find,
Excuse me, where you find Squick? I just realized I'm not actually role playing right now. I'm not describing myself in person. I apologize. Squick is sitting around a campfire, nose deep in what looks like some sort of healing manual. He's wearing simple linen robes. They don't seem to have any kind of coloring to them or anything special. Very much the things that are around him on the fire look to be made of either picked up from somewhere or were made very cheaply out of wood, or things that would normally be metal that are wood, or the like. He's carrying around a symbol of what looks like a flame around his neck.
Ooh. And so, maybe this is startling. You actually see a gateway appear, and there seems to be an almost pearlescent snake with long white locks of hair.
I like your hair. Please don't eat me.
And comes out and like slowly wraps themselves around you.
This is totally normal and safe.
Yes! And pulls you in.
Yeah.
God, I love this. Another gateway appears, and we see Eula. It was a Eula or Jula? I can't remember.
Jula.
Jula, excuse me. We see Jula. Can you describe Jula for us and where we see Jula?
So Jula is also a rat folk, but she's a long snout. So they got a little bit of a longer brownish fur, wearing a lot of like dark, simple clothing, and this big fur cloak over her shoulder. Around a fire, and has this book out, and she's just scribbling in it. You see her kind of drawing on one side, scribbling notes on the other. Fire, you see on the other side there's just this monster that's dead with an arrow sticking out of it, and she's scribbling, going, "Yes, you're so much. You sold so much more still." She sketches out what it is and is writing some notes on this, monster that she had, recently. Addition to my book.
As this gateway appears before you, you see a beautiful face of dark skin, but glowing white eyes, and what almost looks to be like a tiara, but markings on their face. Long, beautiful, curly locks of black hair peek through this portal, and then steps out a lion's foot, with fur as black as their hair, a second foot as well. And you stare into this face, and there is a grin. And you hear a voice in your head say, "The hunt has truly begun. Come." And it steps back through the portal.
Well, I do like a good hunt. She closes her book and then walks through the portal.
Beautiful. So we come to Pelly. Pelly, describe yourself for us and where we see you.
Pelly starts out hanging upside down. Pelly is very small. She's about 3'3" and built like a dancer. So she's a little bit lithe for a gnome, but she moves with the grace of a trained acrobat. She is hanging from a circus silk, and she has bright purple hair, which match her bright violet eyes, and they are always twinkling. Tied to her back, she has, with brightly colored silks, is a small bow, an arrow case that closes tightly, and a small gnomish hooked hammer at her belt, among other goodies. And she is upside down, licking the side of a mountain.
All right, that checks out.
As you do.
Well, don't you?
I mean, yeah.
Everyone does.
That's how every adventure starts.
How do you explore things?
That's none of your business, Jack.
A portal opens next to you, and you actually see a little bit of fire burst out of it. And then it trails down the side, and you swear you hear what sounds like breaking glass. And then sitting on the edge of the portal, basically 4 inches from your face, is a beautiful woman with long locks of hair and twists, braids, and jewelry adorned into it. Bright red lipstick and a large grin on her face as there's a nice red lapel with a beautiful long black coat, and just smiling. What are you up to right here, little one?
Oh, I was just figuring out what sort of rock they have here, where it might have come from, and if it comes in different flavors. Would you like a taste?
No, I've been there, done that.
Do you have the answers then?
Yes, I do. Would you like
Would you tell me?
answers?
Yes.
And she puts out her hand.
I reach out with an acrobat grip.
So as you reach out, she grabs hold and then falls backwards into the portal and pulls you in.
And I'll unwrap my knee and ankle lock from the rope and just go, sounds good, and jump forward.
Smart. So we come to Moa. Moa, describe yourself and tell us where you are.
So Moa is just under 6 foot, short, darkish, brown hair with a little bit of a streak of white and blue in one of them. He has yellowish orange eyes as he's walking, little olive complexion. He's wearing some nice fine wizard's jacket that comes down with tails, very blue with silver accents kind of all around and arcane symbols. He's carrying a book in his back and he's got his backpack. He's currently walking. It appears he's leaving town early in the morning. Possibly he passes the sign that says Sandpoint and he's just kind of looks at the mirror real quick and just kind of keeps on going on his journey down the road.
As you're walking, you feel you're just walking kind of comfortably, confidently, and then you get stuck, and it seems as if time around you has stood still. And then a portal opens not directly above you, but up and forward. And on a long piece of silk descends an older-looking woman adorned in robes of greens, blues, oranges, and purples. And when you look closely, you notice the woman has 6 arms, and she's weaving silks throughout her fingers.
Well, now this is an unusual situation that I think was going to be quite an adventure. I believe you're here for me. Are you to kill or set me on an adventurous path?
We'll say the second one.
Hopefully I won't die this time. That's a joke. That's a joke humor.
You were strangely recommended, but I suppose this works.
Well, I was recommended? Really?
And she grabs you and it goes directly up into the portal. And then that brings us to Grigsby. Who do we see and where are you?
Grigsby Steelfist, he is a middle-aged dwarf of an affable type. He looks sort of like he's got a very well-kempt beard with lots of pouches on his person, but doesn't carry any weapons. He looks kind of like a hipster bartender if you're a mixologist, if you saw him in modern day times. But yeah, he is he's a brewmaster. He's spent many years coming up with the best versions of dwarven ales and beers and turning them, maybe making them a bit more palatable to other folk other than dwarves. And currently he is over his alchemist's table working on a new ginger cranberry dwarven port that he's really excited about.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And through your portal, it's a smaller one in comparison to what the others had. You actually see a snow white furred cat walk through.
All right. Hello. Can I help you? I don't have any milk around here. Actually, I think I might. I was working on a milk stout yesterday. What is there a portal? Where can I see through the portal? Can I see what's on the other side?
You see a distant boat.
Huh. All right.
And the cat hops up on your shoulder.
Oh.
And then it like does that thing where it's kind of making biscuits and then pinches a little bit.
Oh, that's nice. That's yeah. Hey there, buddy. Hey.
And it like pats the back of your head with its fluff, and then it hops down and like trots through the portal as it looks over its shoulder ever so slightly.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Oh, well, you should be careful, little. All right. Yeah. I'll follow. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Please just hurry up. And the cat says that out loud.
Oh, all right.
But it's a booming voice.
No need to be rude, and I'll follow.
So for any of you who know Pathfinder, each of these that they've met have been different gods from the Mwangi Expanse. And someone called out properly, the one that met Moa was in fact Grandmother Spider. So I'm wondering if anyone picked up on who some of the others were. And if you know the Mwangi Expanse, you know some of the gods that I didn't include. So all of you.
Is that a kindness or a cruelty?
Depends. All of you are dropping through these portals and you land on your feet and you find yourself standing on what looks to be not a huge ship, a ship that could probably handle maybe 10, 15 people, but someone could pilot on their own. And you see a half-elf looking figure that's wearing an eye patch on their left side, and from the elbow down actually has a prosthetic arm that looks to be made of plants and vines.
Fascinating.
And you see them actually in like a praying kneel with one knee down and the other with their foot solid on the ground. And as all of you start to drop in, oh, okay. I didn't know if that would work or not, but I am pleasantly surprised.
Hello?
I think it worked.
Definitely.
Anyone see a little white cat running through here or talk with like a much larger voice than you think?
What?
Adani.
Adani.
Adani, yes. The warmth of the hearth.
Oh.
I was encircled by a snake and it was very frightening.
Oh, the snake. Mazlade, an imperial lord of stewardship and loving sacrifice.
Oh, that's not so bad.
I don't know about the rest of you, but getting pulled through a portal by a strange creature isn't an everyday type of thing. What's happening here?
I prayed to the gods to bring me someone to help. My name is Colby.
There was a woman, she had the most amazing lipstick.
Oh, Lubaiko. Yes, the spark in the dust. A big fan of explosions.
Oh, I'd like to get to know her better.
She also she has a weird sense of humor.
She sounds like someone I would really enjoy being friends with.
God's help me.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you said you needed help. Are you hurt, friend? I can help you. I've got a bunch of potions here, and if none of those will work, I can heal you with my hands. As small as they are.
Even the smallest can be the mightiest.
Yeah.
I asked for help because my name is Colby. I am a sailor from the city of Blood Cove. Welcome to the Mwangi Expanse. I have asked for you here from the gods above and below because Angazan, a horrifying creature, something is going wrong. I have seen strange corrupted beasts and creatures appearing across the Mwangi Expanse. Sailors have been disappearing, so I set out to discover, but I came on my own. No one came to help. But I know I cannot do this on my own. So I asked the gods for help, and they chose each of you.
Well,
I'm
it's about time I wasn't picked last on a team for a sport. Adventure it is. So he's going to start pulling on his armor, which is half plate, so it'll take a little bit. My name's Yolo, and not my first job, not my primary job, but I'll be around to hit things with this here sword. So you let me know where I need to be pointed, mystical or regular. So yep, that's me.
Gabe, Squick starts looking around at the foliage nearby. Being an expert in medicine and highly trained in nature, he's looking for maybe anything that he hasn't seen before that might have what indicates nature might indicate is a healing property.
So you're on a boat.
Oh. There's wood.
I was confused. I thought we were in a forest.
But you do see like lily pads and such.
Oh.
There's lily pads in the distance. You see mangrove trees. You could actually probably use some of the roots of mangrove trees to make like antidotes or antioxidants if you wanted to ask Colby to go closer so you could scrape some.
I hate to be a bother. I don't
Never.
want to make things harder for you, but those trees right there, they look pretty good, and I could use their roots. I could protect people and make their skin younger.
Colby immediately turns towards the trees. And we'll assume that all of you do introduce yourselves at this point.
Hey, nice to meet you. Right.
And
okay.
The water here, it's not red per se, but it does have like a rust tone to it, like a rust colored tone to it. And you know that's just from the soil that alters the color when it's closer to Blood Cove, which is thus the name. The water in Blood Cove is distinctly red.
There's a lot of iron in this water.
Right.
Is that good for that exfoliation? Is that what you use that for?
It's red. That's why it's red.
No, it's satin iron and then he pulls out a sword. That there are not swords in the water.
No, I meant like natural iron or stones or metal. It's metal in the water makes it red.
And as you they're not comprehending. As you're getting closer to the mangrove trees, you notice that the bark and vines from the mangrove trees are very similar actually to like the plant life that is the prosthetic of Colby's left arm.
Oh.
Whoa.
You
That's
seem
coordination there.
Yeah.
Yes. Plants are in many ways like people. There are nerves and connectors. And once you learn, I actually feel more like me now than I did before.
I like it.
Wow.
That there is fascinating. And Grigsby starts to monologue because apparently we've gotten a donation. Well, I find that to be a very fascinating a bit of insight there about people and plants. I personally agree. I have found I had a very personal relationship with a fern once in my place. We spent about 100 years, and that thing and I we listened to the same music, we enjoyed the same topics of conversation, and one day I actually did try putting it in a pale ale, and it didn't quite work out. But it was really I really enjoyed that fern, and we had a wonderful relationship, and it didn't really have children necessarily, but I did take pieces of it and I gave it to friends, and it was really happy to see it do well in other places. We had to part ways eventually. There was a disagreement of sorts, but I really don't want to get into that. But I think you're right. I think that honestly, people and plants, we're more alike than we'd like to think sometimes, because our green brothers and sisters out there.
Kobe touches your shoulder.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. What was that? What were we talking about?
Are you okay?
Oh no, definitely not. I'm still a little shook up by that white cat that took me out of my lab, and now I'm here on a boat. Anyway, where were you?
Very Squick, can you have a look at him? He really does not seem okay.
It seems pretty natural that he's just nervous. I can see the sweat across his brow. I don't think he's hurt.
Although, listen, it's possible that I may have tried a little bit of too much of my own stuff.
I do have a small questionnaire for you. Are you currently inebriated?
That is almost yes. I am a dwarf, so I do have a very high tolerance, but I have a baseline that's pretty much always there.
Do you need me to cure you of toxins?
Oh no, I'm all right. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I think he's fine. He's just nervous.
I'd like Yolo, Jula, and Moa to actually make nature checks. So wisdom for me, please.
First roll.
Natural 20.
You monster. I'm so happy for you.
You monster. How dare you succeed?
Only 11.
You said nature. It's a plus 0, so it's 20. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Got a dirty 20.
Good Lord. Okay. So I just want to remind all of you, because of the kind donations, each of you do have a D4 that you can add to a check if you would like to.
Ooh, thank you.
And all of you watching, I want you to know I'm going to make them need it.
Noted.
So Jula and Yellow, you actually notice that as you've gone over closer to the mangrove tree and everyone's discussing, the water actually lowers ever so slightly for a moment. And Yellow, you and your clever soul, as it drops down, you're perceptive, you're aware. When something changes, when an action happens, there's a reaction that follows. And you turn around and you actually see what looks to be like water rising in the distance in almost like a hump shape.
Oh, hey, look at that. That's probably one of them sea beasts I keep hearing about. I'm going to need this. And he's going to pull out a bottle of whiskey and pop that and then wiggle it at Grigsby for a second and then take a drink before passing it.
Oh, no, that's all right. I got my own supply. I appreciate it.
All right.
I'm going to say it above board this time. That's actually way better than what I was thinking. So yes, I was thinking a tidal wave. No. This is funnier. In the far distance, you see what looks to be an enormous, God, this is horrifying. Think if you mixed a gorilla with an octopus, but you made it the size of like a 10-story building.
Oh no.
Does it have tentacle hands or does it
tentacle
have
fingers?
Tentacle fingers
on like gorilla biceps.
Yes. And then there's like tendrils going up the sides of its shoulders, and then like there's like one long plumage that's just got like teeth at the end of it. Yeah, it's horrible. And it like it rises up out of the ground.
Nope.
And the water starts to like rise and then splash down. And you see it like looking around.
Colby, is that normal? Is that a kind of a normal phenomena around here?
Like turns the ship and then starts sailing southwards, which was his original destination. But this beast, you see it like reach down and raise up something that looks tiny in its hand, and you realize it is a whale.
Oh no!
Nope.
And it
Oh
just
gosh!
eats it
Oh wow!
in one bite. So it
This
doesn't
place.
seem to have noticed you.
Okay.
Is there anything any of you would like to do in this moment? We're not in an initiative, but there's it. What happens first?
Moa goes, Gibsby, your monologue seems to have been attracted this thing. What did you do?
What are you talking about?
Was it a mating call or something?
Yeah, please. That thing hasn't noticed us yet, and I really would rather not be eaten today.
Does anybody know what that is? Because I've never seen a gorilla octopus before.
Ooh, everyone making occultism. or religion, if you would prefer. I'll give you a choice.
Okay.
Natural one.
I am not great at either of those
I
things.
actually am sorry.
Oh wait, no, religion. I am a monk. I'm okay at religion.
While that's going on,
So-
Yolo's going to lean over to Kobe and say, do you have any floaties on this craft? Sad to say, I really just don't swim, so I'm just letting you know right now.
To be honest, neither do I.
Oh.
Fantasy floaties. I got a 19.
I also
I
got
got
a
a
19.
22, and I was the one who said I didn't know what it was.
I lied.
17.
I got a 22 as well. I was like, oh, I got occultism. Maybe I'll know. I'm sure I
Oh
know
my
as much as the
God.
person who doesn't know.
Okay, so
Oh,
who else
sorry.
got a 19?
Sorry, not.
did.
I apologize. My roll was a 22. I add 9 to that, so it's a 31.
Oh wait,
Holy
Did I
moly.
do that right? Did I do that right? I think I did.
Yeah.
you got a natural.
I don't
22.
know anything.
I got a natural 19, and then I roll a 3 on the D4, and I have a +9 to religion.
Oh.
I gotta use that
So
D4.
we
That's right.
don't, it's only a one-time use D4 though, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, this is my first
Making
roll.
sure it wasn't,
Okay.
wasn't a perma D4 that we could have the
So-
whole game.
Hell, no.
Audience?
Y'all need multiple. Give them. Oh,
I mean,
can
they
put a-
could stack.
I can add a cat to it if you want. So Pelly, Grigsby, Jula, and Squick, excuse me. All of you start to like talk and ponder through what this is. The after a little bit of
That was
discussion
terrifying.
talking to Colby, you hear a little bit more about Angazan, who is a ape-like deity, a chaotic evil deity known as the Ravenous King. The Ravenous King, demon lord of beasts, horrifying. And because of that, the influence has started to affect different individuals. But Squick, as you start to think of this, you know a little bit about just from past history when you were hunting monsters and oh, this is great actually, since you're a reformed cultist. You know that sometimes can, like, when they are so involved in their faith, many of them can be blessed as an avatar of a god. And that could be a manifestation of the avatar of Angazan in the distance.
Okay, so when I told you I didn't know what that was, and then we started talking about it a little bit, that's an avatar of Angazan, and I know that because I come from a family that used to worship him.
That
What?
everyone backs away from Squick.
No. I want to be clear.
You know what? You
I
can't
am
judge people and their
reformed.
families, okay?
I'm reformed. I decided that consuming monsters for power is probably not the best idea. So now I cut away their parts to make healing potions.
All right.
That's respectable.
Yeah,
commend
I don't
you.
know why that's here, but we should run.
You
So
see
the solution is to run, not to say,
Hello?
make it wrap its arms around branches that then you meld together so it's all looped up and strung out in a pretty pattern.
Yellow, as they're having this discussion, I'm actually gonna work something in your favor. With your 20 from before and the awareness, they're discussing what to do in this situation. You see a ship in the distance that looks like a tiny ship, and you see the avatar just pick it up and crush it and then throw it in all of your direction.
Oh gosh.
Oh, hey, just so y'all know, we might be impacting, that thing there, and just as it's like sailing through the air towards us, he's just like,
whoa!
I don't quite have the words for what's about to happen, but it's gonna be bad, I think. If we all just take a look, and then maybe someone else has a better course of action.
That's the course of action we need to
Look
do.
out!
Is anybody doing anything? I'll hit you with a ship. I'm trying to give you the opportunity.
I'm trying to run to the other side of the boat. I mean, I'm on a boat. I don't know.
Hey, just to who's the most buoyant of all y'all? Is anybody like really just?
If you can get me somewhere where I can throw a rope, I'm good.
Yeah. Colby, can you steer us towards the shore, maybe there, buddy?
If we go overboard, I'm just saying I'm gonna need someone to piggyback on in case I don't go under. I got all this armor on and I sink straight to the bottom. You know how it is.
Yeah, right.
Just walk along.
I'm gonna very quickly teach you a basic grip for a rope so that you don't fall. And I'm gonna teach you. I'm actually gonna teach too. I'm gonna teach you how to wrap your legs and stand on it so you don't fall.
Okay.
I'm gonna teach you how to do a wrist
like
lock.
this, right? You make the L. All right.
I'm gonna roll to see if I hit you with a ship. I really tried. I gave y'all so much time. I was like, just
Incoming.
Okay. So the
no. So the ship is coming towards us.
it's flying through the air like it's a
Flying through
softball.
the air. Wow.
I can't steer
Okay.
it. Never mind. I can't do the thing I was gonna try and do.
But you're very fortunate. It does land about 40 feet to your left, which in retrospect, to be able to land it within 40 feet of you is kind of concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And you now see this bellowing creature has turned his attention to all of you.
Okay.
And is
Far away is the creature?
slowly. I'd say like it's solid like 3 miles technically in the distance.
Oh, he's got quite an arm there. Colby, are there lifeboats or dinghies or anything of that sort on this here vessel?
No, why would I have that? The ship is fast. Look, I have as much understanding of this as you do. This is horrible.
There's a degree of hubris in thinking that your ship will never sink.
No, I think
Well
I speak.
said. Well said.
She's right, though. There is a big degree of hubris in
You
that.
see Kobe having a little bit of like
Everybody roll a hubris
existential
check.
crisis.
If the ship is fast, make it go faster, dearie. Get it faster. Let's go.
Colby, I don't want to call you out here, but you're the one who brought us here, brother. And I mean, what's the
Like
plan?
the gods did it. Blame them.
Hey, Colby, I just got to say, if you keep blaming the gods for everything, you're never going to fix your problems.
Well, and I'd just like to point out that there's an avatar of a god over there, so if we start blaming anybody, they're going to come after us, clearly.
Right. No, yeah.
I am very glad I'm here, and you're all very wonderful. I don't want to die by that god, so can we continue to run?
This took such a turn.
We're running, not fighting. Just a clarification that everyone is on the same page.
Wait,
We're
is
going
it-
to run, not fight. Correct?
It goes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank
Is
you.
there anything Grigsby can do to like help with the rigging on the ship or anything to make us move a little faster? Start dumping barrels off the side.
Honestly,
or whatever.
if any of you have ideas of how you would like to help in either making the ship go faster, trying to delay the beast, trying to extend awareness around the ship, there is plenty of different opportunities. One of the very cool things about Pathfinder, and I am totally not, there we go, I found it. I was trying to remember all the different actions. So you can try to aid things that are happening. You can interact with different things around the ship. You can try to gauge what this creature is doing with like a sense motive check. You can even just take cover on the ship if you really don't want to be involved. So anything that any of you would like to do, and I'm gonna throw you into the ship, so to speak, Grigsby. What would you like to do to aid in this moment?
Grigsby is a dwarven crafter. He spent most of his time on brewing and everything of that sort. But he's a couple hundred years old at this point, so he spent a lot of time, and so he's sort of looking around the ship, looking at it. Sorry, streamline. What do you think about it? Use your head, Griggs, and maybe thinking of. Can I roll a crafting check? Maybe is there anything I can help the ship to like drop a barrel or anything to help us move faster?
Yeah. So you can let's see. Right. Sorry, so there's a hero point for Morgan, Ron,
use that.
Neo, Jen, and I also get a villain point.
And I still haven't used my first D4, so I got to get on that. Ooh. Wait, the hero point is the D4, is that correct?
No, so the D4 is separate. Okay. So what hero points do? There's a whole bunch of things they can do. So the way we're going to use hero points is you can either like immediately do something outside of your turn. You can get a +8 bonus to your roll before announcing your roll. You can get a +4 bonus to your roll after announcing your roll. If it was in combat, you could get an extra action. So like if you rolled and you got a 12, you could use your hero point to make it a 16. If you haven't rolled yet, you can get a +8 to it beforehand.
Copy.
Yes. Thank you to all of my players for being great and having information, because that's like one of my favorite things and the most like, maybe not terrifying, but one of the things with the biggest learning curve. It was remembering how many rules there are. But then I also remembered when you're GMing, who cares? Use the rules you want to. That's what we do. Like making a god throw a ship. So what are you doing, Grigsby?
I'm looking around the ship for trying to make like a crafting check and kind of go like, all right, I think I can help us move a little faster now and trying to help Colby. So
okay, make a crafting roll.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yolo with the cooperative nature feat is going to aid in that. So
nice.
+4 to that.
Oh wow! With a +4, that's a 24.
Oh my god. Okay, so actually, it comes back full circle. Yolo, with the like assistance to Grigsby, you actually start going around lower deck and finding what's down there, and you do find some like smaller individual assortments of gunpowder, and you see large barrels, you see rope, and if you would like, you can actually reduce.
Sorry, did you say gunpowder and rope?
You can reduce. Oh god, this is gonna get worse. You can reduce some of the weight onto it by making almost like depth charges by wrapping the barrels and pouring gunpowder into it. And then Pelly, do you have something you would like to add to this? Look, if all of you want to influence, I guess, except for Jula, who's the reasonable one.
The evocation wizard is interested.
So tell me what you want to do, because my thinking is probably a little bit off track of what you're thinking.
I don't care. They're just making depth charges. That's okay.
So my current thinking is I want to sort of use that hero point to couple create a diversion with using my hero point to kind of pump up a spell I have, which is telekinetic maneuver. We are way too close for that to normally work, but that would be what the hero point would be.
This is our game. Let's do it.
Yeah. So the idea is to create, so whatever someone else is doing, use that to kind of create a diversion and use telekinetic maneuver to really focus the attention of the creature on that diversion while we GTFO.
Ooh, okay.
I would like to add to that. As the depth charge you send out and the wave of water, Mo is going to be holding on the back of the boat, like pressed over.
God. I thought you were going to say hold on to the depth charge.
Push. I do a hydraulic push to push the boat further with the water. And beautiful. In coordination with the waves that are about to come in.
Look at this teamwork making the dream work. This is great.
Squick is going to help by scouting ahead for this the path that can get us through the mangroves.
Yep.
That's what Julia was going to do too. She's going to like, well, I guess if you want to think it's only your boat, you would know what to do. But dearie, don't worry, we'll handle this. And go to the front and do like a survival for finding a good path to go.
See, actually, will Squick and Julia, will both of you make survival checks for me, and then I'll actually accumulate them together?
I do love that officially telekinetic maneuver says you can disarm. And I think Kelly's going to take that a little more literally. And because I'm boosting this thing, I would like I liked my original idea of kind of creating a tapestry out of this creature and tangling it up in its own arms.
Ooh.
Okay.
So if there's a way to make that all happen along with this, I just think it's fun.
You know
Kelly,
what?
you are a fascinating gnome there. Okay.
Ooh,
We'll address that later.
We're gonna do a fun thing since Gabe likes doing that. All right. Yolo, everyone who is, well, they're all of you doing something. I want all of you to make a skill roll. Squick and Jula have already done it. I want all of you to make an attributing skill roll to this in some way, shape, or form. I think Grigsby, did you already make a skill roll?
I made a crafting check.
Yes. So hold on to that.
Okay.
Yolo, make another roll for me using a skill that you think is relevant. Oh, Jen, you rolled a 20. I hate you.
I did. It was a natural 20 on deception, which I already have a +8 to. And then I can throw on that D4 if I really need to. But this is on my hero point.
Y'all are the worst.
30, 20 for athletics, assisting with the hoisting and the lifting and the moving.
Okay. So that's a 20 from you. Grigsby, what did you get?
That was a 24 on my crafting check.
Okay. Jen, what is your total? 28?
The 28 before the D4, which if I'm going to need that D4, I will throw it on.
No, you don't.
She will.
Jula.
That would be a 22.
Oh my God. Squick.
If it's survival, then that's a 23.
Good God.
This is the craziest third level party ever.
I know. I did not roll this well when I played in a third level campaign.
You might not have seen our character sheets, but I assure you, they're legit.
I know they are. That's the problem. I was like, I don't need to see them. I want to be surprised. This was a terrifying surprise.
I mean, if we're choosing, if we
some
get to
medicine
choose
checks
what
and let's
skill
do
we
this.
use.
Yeah.
Right.
And Moa, what was your total?
Gabe, you're sitting down, right? So as Moa is sitting on the he's timing it perfectly with the magic that he's learned, and the Arcana roll was a 19 plus 4 on the D dice for a 32.
Oh my God.
Gabe quits.
Gabe, we love
Wait,
you.
19 plus 4. Wait,
19 plus
You know
4 is
You know what, Jen?
24, but I've got a
Plus their
I got a
Arcana
plus 9.
Jen, will you
Oh my
humor me
gosh.
and roll that D4?
just do it.
you need me? I'll do it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Here
What's
comes
another
another
two?
ship at us.
So I want you to know, Gabe is like, I'm going to go for a cumulative. They have to get a number that's irrelevant now. All of your cumulative totals between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people is 151.
Nice.
I'm guessing the score was 150. That's what I'm guessing.
And watch us on the next one get a cumulative total of like 9.
2.
Yeah.
It was
This will
lower
turn.
than 150, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it a challenging. But if it's like if they hit 150, then they'll like absolutely ace it.
Well,
So you asked.
Yeah, I did. I did this
Rip
to
it
myself.
up.
So you send this depth charge out, and it's floating for a minute, then it goes softly underneath the water after a push from Moa. And Jula and Squick start seeing a deeper aspect of the mangroves, while Colby is giving a general direction of where they're trying to head, where he has actually a compass that looks like it's helping to navigate towards a southeastern position. And the two of you are actually incredibly helpful in this circumstance, because throughout these mangrove trees, there are terrifying creatures, including boa constrictors that are 30 feet long with 2 rows of teeth and massive. They are hanging in the trees, but between the two of you, the rat folk who are like, I don't mess with snakes if I can help it, and
Thank
also
you.
active monster hunters and creature, I don't know, keepers. That's like
Experts?
Pokemon. That one.
zoologists.
Oh God, I guess there's a word.
Monster zoologist.
And,
there you go.
and you're navigating away from where these things are. And with your perceptive eyes, you can actually tell the difference between the snake tails and bodies versus the branches hanging down from the mangrove trees. Not
That's a
everyone can do
snake.
that.
That's a branch. That's a snake. It's a snake. Okay, we're good.
And as that charge is navigating through the water, there's actually a couple now. And this creature has sped up. It's gotten a little bit closer. Pelly, with this telekinetic ability, because you're terrifying. Oh, and you rolled a nat 20. You fantastic, beautiful individual who I appreciate.
Right, if that's the meaning of subtext.
The water actually goes down. And you know how when you push something down, air will make it shoot back up? It pushes it down and it shoots back up till this creature starts reaching forward with a long looming limb, and the depth charge explodes right next to its arm, and the force with the weight actually makes it wrap its arm around itself. So the tendrils do come about even longer than you expected, and it does tie up a little bit, and it seems like it's knocked off its back. Now, just because I get a villain point.
Oh dear. I think we made the gorilla octopus angry. Let's keep moving, folks.
God, that's a horrible sentence.
Octorilla. It's an octorilla.
Octorilla.
Oh, great. Whew, that's gold, baby. So as it falls back and it slams into the water, you see a massive tidal. It all comes back, baby. A massive tidal wave start to form.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, wait. Damn, but you're in trees. Oh
no.
What do you mean? Oh no, that's it. They dissipate. Look, I might know how to float, but I do know how not to die in water. So it actually slams into these trees. And the nice thing is the variety of trees with how deeply rooted mangroves are. Damn, I accidentally made this better for you. The more I think about it, the mangrove trees actually start to dissipate the force, and it rises for a little bit, but you start slowly navigating out and away from the danger.
It's kind of bumpy.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That heartbeats already.
We all just saw what got donated. We did already hit our initial goal in the first hour of the stream. Thank you so much, everybody.
Hey, Dolph.
You are all amazing.
I appreciate you.
Also, we are all deeply terrified.
The more villainy points that you give me, the more I'm gonna keep rolling horrible things.
Yeah.
For a great cause.
Indeed.
For a great cause.
For a great cause.
I want to hear a point for Jen. I guess that's great. The water starts to dissipate.
Thank you.
And the sky turns red.
Oh dear.
And it was about midday, but the sky turns to be like an orangish red, almost like there's sherbet in the sky. See, I can say nice things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice palate cleanser.
Yeah, that looks kind of tasty, actually.
But when you
in between courses,
when you inhale, Colby goes, now that does taste a little bit like iron. And there is kind of like an iron taste in the air.
Ooh.
And you see almost clouds start to shift and change until you see what looks to be the massive form of an ape-like figure in the clouds looking around. And then they just look down at all of your ship and you see it. The figure that is Angazan in the clouds. Ooh. Now, here's a little bit of background, just because I really enjoyed writing this section. Angazan was one of the gods that I got to write for the Mwangi Expanse. Ooh. And let me tell you a little bit about him. Angazan is a name well known in the Mwangi Expanse for good reason. Called the Ravenous King and Demon Lord of Beasts, he appears as an enormous and terrifying red-furred ape with 6 long fingers on each hand, massive and clawed. His followers range from gnolls to demons that number in the thousands and has an astounding presence and influence, but that influence is rivaled in raw power. His terrible grasp extends beyond life into death. Occasionally, those slain in combat by his minions are reincarnated into ape-like creatures in the service of the Ravenous King. Which, don't forget, some people have been disappearing.
Oh.
A pledge to Angazan is a commitment to acquiring power, and he encourages followers to destroy all who oppose them with relentless force. And all of you look down. Well, look up. He's looking down. Not looking down on you, but maybe. I'm not going to say it. That's up to you to decide.
I see the judgy eyes.
Yes, you actually do. And his massive cloud maw just opens. And there is a split second where you see him gazing directly down the ship, looking directly at Colby. And you see Colby start to like pull up their shoulder a little bit, and you see them like wincing for a moment, and then the cloud dissipates.
Colby?
Yes.
You're right there?
Not entirely, no.
Okay. Do you mind if I check you out real quick? I'm a trained professional, I promise.
And he relaxes and as make a
medicine.
Yeah, I guess that makes the most sense. That's fine.
Colby, I'm sensing. I don't mean to pry, but I'm sensing a lot of tension between you and this this ancient godlike being. Did you used to date or something? What's going on here?
25.
It was a bond that I was not entirely in favor of. As power expands, people try to pull others into it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Abusive relationship. That's terrible. Glad you got out of it, though.
For a multi-level marketing situation, they're just as bad.
And as you are going over Colby Squick, you see that Colby is actually like wincing a little bit. And like right here on his shoulder, you see what looks to be like a marking that looks to almost be like 2 horns and then 4 claws going down and then a single stripe going down the center.
I have a feat called Schooled in Secrets. I notice signs and symbols the members of mystery cults and other secret societies use to declare their affiliation of fellow members.
Yeah.
You can use occultism in place of diplomacy to gather information about such groups. If you belong to a secret cult, lodge, sect, or similar organization, formally, you automatically recognize members of your group unless they're specifically attempting to conceal their presence from you.
Wow.
This is a mark of Angazan that is directly on Colby's shoulder, and it looks like it was actually lighting up previously. Like you know how when metal heats up and then it finally cools down, that's almost the idea. So it was kind of resonating to Angazan's appearance in the sky.
I think I know why I've been brought here, Colby. I know that very well. My grandmother had that same symbol upon her shoulder.
And also, I know why I'm here. I actually know somebody who does really great cover-up tattoos, especially for like X tattoos. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can try to work in the a little bit of the vinery or the flowers, and then no one can tell that you had the name tattooed on there. You know,
that is a very specific fate to get called through a portal for. I just want to say,
Colby, are you still a follower of Angazan?
No, not anymore. Is it
What
expensive?
happened?
And they look at you, Yellow.
hey, it's pretty reasonable, honestly, and you know, we can work that out after we get out of this certain death trap that we're currently located.
Gabe,
in.
did he take any damage from it? Like in the medicine check, does he seem to have been hurt at all?
It looks like he is like still wincing a little bit. It did look like it hurt him a bit.
Okay.
Well, would you like me to heal the wound? I can't get rid of that because, well, that's between you and Angazan, but I can heal you.
Yes, please.
And I cannot judge you despite having once been part of a really destructive cult.
Yeah, and only time heals certain wounds. So
That's right. And I'm still not healed from my own. I share that with Colby here.
I will use, I'll cast heal at first level, or is it automatically one action?
Yeah.
One action. Okay. 2d8 hit points.
Oh, hell yes.
Now, time does heal wounds. You're right there, but time may not be something that we're
10
afforded
hit points
much
back,
of.
Colby.
Nice.
That we're afforded a lot of when there's a giant ape monster in the clouds like Mufasa. So let me ask, Mufasa is a legendary lion. Never mind.
Oh, hey, I follow a lion over here.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. Anyway.
Yellow did follow a lycanthrope.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah. Hey, what do you know about Mufasa? Tell me more.
Now, anyway, but Colby, we're not judging you or anything, but that big ape guy really does seem quite interested in you. So why don't you make with some of the truth telling and tell us what maybe he wants or it wants and where we're headed.
I am judging a little bit, dearie.
Why? Don't you judging me too then?
We're like a properly semi-functional family.
Yeah, a little bit.
As I used to be previously involved in this following, one of the things that I was a part of was creating a beacon of Angazan. It gave him influence over different regions. I was asked to create one that could affect closer to the city of Blood Cove and its seas. But I want to destroy it. If it can be destroyed, this mark on me and anyone else should disappear. At least for here.
Right.
And then creatures like that should not appear.
Yeah.
People who have been taken, maybe returned to at least the rest they deserve.
Okay. This
I
beacon,
know how hard it is to say and do that, so thank you, Colby.
This beacon you're talking about that you created there, are we talking like a lighthouse situation or like something on a pedestal, or how big is it?
It is a gem inside of an underground cavern.
Okay.
But the problem is, the cavern may still be guarded by a protector.
All right, yeah.
A giant protector? Or a more normal-sized one?
Normal sized.
Is it gonna throw another ship at us?
Is it gonna throw a full-sized humanoid at us?
Oh, potentially.
I mean, I think it's a safe bet that if it comes from Angazan, it's probably not the nicest.
And might look like a gorilla. Or an octopus.
Find out.
I like the way you think.
So, I appreciate all the foreboding warnings and all that, but do you actually have something that might be a little bit more useful? Like potentially damage vulnerabilities, as one would say?
It's a very specific question.
Monster Hunter there, that's definitely one.
I mean, that's a very good question. Let me think.
They do not like bright lights. They do not like intense cold.
Right. Good to know.
The influence of Angazan, it makes rage and aggression powerful things. But with rage and aggression, sometimes comes a loss of reason and logic. If we are smart, like, well, all of you have been,
some of us.
Safe. Hey, don't ever undercut yourself. This is also
the perfect thing.
I wasn't undercutting myself, dearie. There's just some other ones, and she kind of glances at Yolo.
Oh.
Wow, that got awkward.
You're not supposed to say that out loud.
Oh, I really don't understand context. I've been alone a long time.
Oh.
Don't be sad. No, it's fine. It was a choice. It was a choice I made.
Right.
No, I was understanding and relating.
Hey,
okay.
You shush.
I was relating.
Your neighbor reminds me of a color. Be nice.
Hey, no, it's honestly just because it's more of a nickname, if I'm being honest, because that's kind of the thing that people say, when they come in and they've already pre-gamed to the bar. They're, hey, Yolo,
Oh,
my real name's Rick.
Yeah, that's right.
Ellie files that away now, knowing your true name.
I know your true name, Rick. Your soul is mine.
That may or may not be relevant to my own personal skill set.
I mean, when you worded it that way.
I wanna.
There may or may not be a spell specifically that uses true names.
I want to give a shout out that
might be.
Dalf won the Pathfinder 2nd Edition beginner box, and I'm not going to say it's because they gave me villain points, but I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Dalf.
All right, so we have a goal of $500, and I just want to point out that if you donate $100, you can ask for a narration, and I have plenty of narrations that I would love to give. So I'm just going to put that out there, especially if it means that when we get to my a very interesting, terrifying NPC, that I will get a chance to narrate for them. Also, I want to say a hero point to John from your kids.
Yay!
Hi, John.
Thank you.
I will be nice to John because I know your kids are watching, unless they ask me to bully you.
You know, they like to hear our home game, the story about when I almost kill the players, like when they get chased up trees by bears. So they're probably okay with that.
Oh my God, I'm going to give you all one to talk about. All right, deal. It's the Pathfinder villain box now. Oh, that's dope, Pathfinder. Let's talk. So as you hear this story, he tells you a bit more about his past experience, and that the creature guarding this is a creature that was previously actually a dwarf. But the dwarf has sorry, don't ignore that. The dwarf has been altered and affected so deeply by Angazan. Instead of making it a gradual sort of progression, they actually consumed some fur directly from Angazan himself to become so engrossed. They are known as the Silver Shepherd. And anyone can make an occult check. Squick, take a bonus of 2 because of just your involvement with this.
Could I also try a dwarven lore check? If not occultism?
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Dice are hot for 23.
God.
I'll use my hero point for a 17.
26 from Jula.
God.
That'd be a nat 20 plus 10, so that's a 30.
I hate all of you.
Tell us everything.
Mine is not as good. Mine is a 17.
I got a 6.
I think I have something about this in my book. Let me look.
Okay, so Jula, Moa, and Squick, you have heard of the Silver Shepherd. They are a dwarf who usually appears with an all silver hood in places, and I'm not going to do the voice yet, preaches a kindness and compassion by embracing their rage and frustrations. And they basically invite people to like a fantasy style rage room that's kind of like a cult thing, and basically they engage in the rage. Ooh,
that's a t-shirt.
Yes, it is.
It's good branding. Right, Silver Shepherd is good at branding.
Oh my God, that is how they engage in the rage.
Hashtag engage in the rage.
And they try to pull people into it, and then once they feel that emotion, they actually are inside of a room. The room itself is usually cursed, and it causes a minor transformation that will make the brand appear on people, but they either choose to accept it and the brand stays because they like that rage. They like that potential anger that they haven't expressed. It's taking almost like advantage of that frustration and anger that they have in this world, caused usually by Angazan initially. Squick, you know specifically, you had almost met the Silver Shepherd once. The Silver Shepherd has actually come to speak to your family directly, and the Silver Shepherd
Never good when the DM laughs like that. It's never good.
And then pauses.
Not.
No, terrible.
Yeah. As a DM, I know that's bad for me.
The Silver Shepherd, you know them as Krul. It's kind of like the word cruel, but it's like K-R-U-U-L, Krul. Yes. They are, for lack of a better word, kind of like a godfather to you. Because they had blessed the children to be full with rage and anger, which is really messed up. So, and you know, actually, you recognize what they smell like. They smell like ash, which is a very weirdly distinct scent. So hold on to that. But yeah, so you're all sailing to meet this person.
Okay.
Lovely. Pardon me, everyone. I have two quick questions for you. Corbin, the gem you mentioned, that holding the all-powerful gem that we have.
The beacon thing.
The beacon thing, yes, the beacon thing. Two questions. One, are we supposed to destroy it with a sword or something like that? And can it be done like that? And the second question, magical traps. Is it going to be kind of like a big ball or runes around it that if you touch it, will you blow up? Or what can you give me?
I have a list. Anyone else have questions?
If we're doing a list, book, please.
No, I think that's
there have been acid spitters, bleeding spine snares, bomb snares, chopping evisceration snares, clockwork chippers, engulfing snares, and venom snares, fang snares, explosion snares, flame drake snares, flying blade wheel snares, frostworm snares, grease snares, hail of arrow snares, hampering snares.
I appreciate that they're in alphabetical order, personally.
Mud rock snails. Shut up.
And we're not even through the snares yet.
Pummeling snares. Yeah.
Someone likes their snares.
Wet shock snares.
Someone majored in snare studies.
There's also acidic needle launchers, Armageddon orbs, boulder deadfall traps, centipede carcass traps, disgusting mirrors. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
I saw the Armageddon orbs open once on a music festival. They were great.
So you're saying there may be traps.
With the six that Yolo rolled, he's just kind of staring off into space, and he randomly just says, "I think this is gonna go great. I think this will be all right.
It'll be great."
You get me.
No problem. We're hunters. We can do it. I know we can. Maybe
it'll
not.
Be fine.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
All right, well, how close do you think you can get us to this here beacon there, Colby? You think we can, just take the boat right up to it, or up to this tunnel, or the entrance of this tunnel, or how far do we think we still got to go?
The beach we have to reach is about an hour's left of sailing. Okay. And then it will be about a 40-50 minute trek through jungles and vines to reach the cavern entrance. Good. And then we just have to descend.
So if you got this brand there on your shoulder, I mean, does that mean you engaged in the rage? You kind of took part in this kind of rage room thing, and I'm not judging. I'm just genuinely curious.
I did.
Okay.
Something that I learned, though. I cannot have just one thing. Rage does not need to be held inside. It can and should be left out. It needs to escape, but it cannot exist by itself. Just like joy cannot be the only thing you experience. It is complicated. To be
My godfather used to tell me that the wage of rage is your age.
The longer you have age.
So you're saying we need to teach your godfather some extra consonants and vowels to get some new rhyming schemes happening? Yeah. Okay.
Just a moment here, and Yolo put on his glasses and then pull out a
if you keep the rage inside, it will make you get older faster, is what he was telling me.
I got it. No, I got it. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna need y'all to repeat all of those rhymes again. This is good stuff.
So dearie, you've turned against your rage, so you're now raging against the machine?
Wait, what machine? There's machines too?
The cult as a whole is a machine. And we rage against it by not raging.
It's
is it
ironic.
more of a pyramid, like the cult of pyramid, scheme-ish process?
Yeah, there's a big gorilla octopus at the top of it. Yep.
Got it.
Lots of arms.
Yeah.
Each one reaching down through different branches.
Yeah, she gets it.
So, just out of curiosity, in case we encounter this creature again, are the tentacles like kind of slimy, or are they normally pretty clean? I'm just curious.
I mean, it depends. Nope, not going to describe that.
Very similar to your fingers.
Go nowhere
are your
good
fingers
fast.
sticky or oily right now? It's like that.
Yeah,
God,
you got
I've never thought about my
phalange oils.
That's not a thing. You made that up. This is Gabe. You made that up. Even if you're not lying, you're lying, and I reject that reality. I've worked on this world. They don't talk about phalange oils. There's no such thing as phalange oils in the One Piece fans.
I wrote this. I specifically wrote no phalange oils in the margin.
There are no flasks of oil du phalange.
Du phalange.
God.
Actually, that would be really cool if you could fake someone's fingerprints like that.
Loyal du phalange.
I think we've just invented a new magic item. You're
Thanks,
welcome,
Paizo.
chat.
And thank you, Jasper's Game Day, for giving us this delightful opportunity.
I mean, this is exactly what people are here to see.
That's also, we just hit our $500 goal.
Whoa! Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Oh, that's fantastic.
Don't look at who donated. That's irrelevant.
Oh dear. Oh dear. But Grigsby goes up to Colby and puts his
As soon as Grigsby moves.
Yeah, Grigsby, I need you. I need you to make an acrobatics check for me.
Well, luckily I am a monk. I'm fairly good at that. Yeah, that is a dirty 20.
Okay, so you step forward, and your and your feet catch, and you actually roll forward, and you go into you put your arms down and roll into it and stand up. Your feet are tied together.
What?
Your shoelaces are tied.
Hey, what? All right.
And you just hear a cackle from Pelly over on the other side of the ship.
All right, my gnomish friend. Okay, well, we just met, but I do appreciate a nice bit of trickery. As long as there's not any shoelace tying demons around, I suppose better you than the ape god.
I think that's more of devil's work.
Right. But Colby,
This is what happens when you monologue.
Let the record show.
Colby, I mean, it's ironic that as a bottler and canner of things myself, I have learned that it is best not to bottle your rage up inside. And you're absolutely right that it is best to kind of express your rage as anything else, and to share it with others and to let them help take the weight off.
Don't share the rage though. Well,
I would like to think about that.
As a warning.
Colby steps aside to think about it and leaves you all to talk to yourself for a minute because Gabe's doorbell just rang. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, look, it's going to be, if you engage in the rage, it's part of a cult ritual. And so it does help you, but it also makes someone else very powerful. So, it's a balance of things. And then also you get one of those cool burning tattoos that he's got.
Got it. I mean, engage is really. Aren't there a lot of different ways to engage your rage? I mean, I think if you hold it and you kind of.
Sure, it's a metaphor. It's a great idea, but what he's specifically talking about is not a metaphor.
Right.
It's a specific thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
So
you would
yes,
know.
good to engage in your rage and maybe journal when you're angry. That's what I do.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of journaling.
Journaling, talk to friends. You can reach out to a cleric.
Yeah, that's also me.
You can go to the bar.
Yeah.
That is what the dwarf, I think, does.
Well, no, yes. I mean, I keep it at home mostly. But
He has
You
a
want
name.
to keep that though within healthy limits,
Right.
Because
Oh yeah, of course.
Home is where the bar is.
Oh, I just realized we do not have a barbarian in our midst, so his rage will not be amplified.
Or yeah, no, y'all got lucky. Above board. I wrote a sentence about that. Y'all got real lucky. As you're all having this conversation, you see what looks like, actually, you do see a small snippet of land in the distance that is your destination. And the camera pans off of all of you, and it pans flying over the ocean to this island. Through trees and jungle, you hear chittering birds and chattering cats. And then you come across a silver-hooded figure, muttering to themselves, walking back and forth, standing about 3.5 feet tall. Oh, bored and lonely, lonely and bored. I wonder when I'll have company. I haven't been able to enjoy any rage lately. The last city, they were all boring. But, now it's more like ruins, I guess, because the master is satiated. Although it only lasts about 2-3 minutes, maybe. I think I saw him in the clouds in the distance. I wonder if that weird child is coming back. They had so much potential, and they just got rid of it all. And the hood comes down, and you see a dwarf with large fangs coming out of their mouths, and a wicked red beard that goes into hair going around the side of their entire face. And you see almost like larger ears and red eye slits. But as his rage flows through me, oh, okay. Maybe this will be fun once again. Let the wage of rage consume your age. And I think that is where we will take a break. And we will come back to this strange, terrifying one-shot celebrating Jasper's Game Day. Woo! Please, even while we are on break, feel free to donate and support this incredible crew, because as they meet the Silver Shepherd, things are going to get probably worse. Like, you think, here's my notion. When you have a group of 6 going to meet a one person, and I'm not concerned, that's when you should be. Have a great break, get up, stretch, hydrate, and we will see you back here soon. Welcome back. And okay, so this is funny. I heard through the grapevine that if we reach 700, there might be a snippet of Jar Jar Binks' voice. I don't know.
What?
What? Are you trying to incentivize or disincentivize?
Yeah. I was gonna say we're losing money. Oh my God, it's going down.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
If we reach 700 before they meet.
Bring it on.
If we reach 700, then you won't get Jar Jar Binks' voice. I'll
By the way, for everyone just joining us, thank you for being here.
Yay!
I'm just going to say,
raising money for Jasper's game day and suicide prevention. Please don't let our chaos dissuade you from donating to this very important cause.
Look, I will hold Jar Jar Binks near ya. If we don't get 700 before the stream ends, the villain's end voice is going to be Jar Jar Binks. I just want you to know that.
Look, Misa excited. Excited. Okay.
Just think, you and I going back and forth in Jar Jar.
No.
You know what? Maybe I'll let people vote. When we hit 700, I'll let them decide if it does or doesn't happen. Either way, this is gonna be fun. So,
oh no,
it's too early.
We find ourselves back on the ship, and the hour has passed. You are getting ready to dock at the shoreline, and you see Colby is more invigorated after speaking with all of you. There has been sort of a kindness and kinship. It showed that even strangers, without having any necessary personal investment, or strangers that he didn't even know had similar experiences, strangers could come together for a united cause and try to actively help each other. Try to help each other for their own means, or try to help each other just because they want to see people better, see people happier. I might be a jerk, but I still have good morals in my stories. And Colby looks at all of you, and whether you notice it or not, there is a solid smile. Because now he's not alone, even if just for the moment. Anyways, gross.
Not gross, it's great.
No, I'm projecting.
Vulnerability is disgusting.
I know.
Group hug.
Oh.
Anyways.
Vom.
Helly flips your backpack inside out.
Dang it.
Colby steps off the ship as he puts down a gangplank, because we don't hop off here. You can have accessibility on ships too. Just saying. Anyways.
But yeah, there are tall ships that are built to be accessible. Fun fact, you can look it up.
Genocider podcast. Anyways, makes his way down and comfortably walks down this ramp. And as he's looking around, you see that the foliage here is strangely colored. There are purple vines, what look to be blue oranges, which is the worst fruit that I could have picked because it has a color. And all sorts of weird variety of fruits hanging from these trees. You see,
Helly leans over and sniffs the vines.
Smells like steak. Hey, do what you do with that. You see coconuts, but instead
it's
of
a vegan's paradise.
They really figured that one out, huh?
It's the Beyond Meat Island.
It's like a coconut that is attached to it. It looks like a coconut as if it was a centipede.
The secrets of the Mwangi Expanse. They've solved vegan meat.
Truly impossible.
I'm here for it.
All right, let Gabe finish his discussion.
I just want to talk about these weird centipede coconuts. It's like,
oh gosh, no.
Okay.
Not the weird thing. Oh,
it's like a coconut connected to a coconut connected to a coconut connected to a coconut connected to a coconut, and each of them go down about 8 down, and they're just hanging from these individual places. Colby looks around, and there's a look of concern. These were not here the last time I was here.
The last thing I know about colorful things is they tend to be poisonous, so be careful.
All right.
Ellie has one of the pieces of fruit up to her tongue and goes,
Store it for later, maybe.
I'm very confused because that orange is blue.
Wouldn't it just be called a blue then?
Right, that's what I would think, but it's a blue
Well, our
orange.
perception of color, we can never really know what everyone else perceives as a color. So this really could be orange, and we just could have been perceiving it differently and now be in a place that perceives it differently because of the philosophy.
Right.
Anyone?
Yeah. So
No?
I'm gonna hit it with my sword to make sure it's not a creature real quick.
Okay, that's
You check to see if it's a creature.
That is the fastest way to determine if something's alive. Stab it.
Which one?
The
don't like that question.
I have more than one attack, so we can do both.
Oh no!
Before you do that, may I detect magic first, as I can just.
Let's do them at the same time.
One,
that was
two.
magic.
1, 2, 3.
Cool, great. Gonna come back to that. So Yolo, roll an attack for me against the coconuts first.
Yolo's gonna draw his Kopesh and then swing for a 24 to hit.
Boy.
Sorry.
Yes, that does hit. And then for the blue orange.
I'm just detecting magic.
And
he's got both.
30 to hit. So
30?
minus the 5. I have a plus 11. I'm a fighter.
Third level?
God.
Third level?
God. All right. Well, that was critical. So we'll come back to that because that is 10 above. And Pelly, all the fruit that you can see has it. How does your detect magic manifest, actually?
For Pelly, there is sort of a purplish, it's like a translucent purple, almost as if you've adjusted a translucency filter way down, but it's this bright burst of purple sheer light, almost like a hanging piece of silk or fabric, a gossamer kind of that goes out.
So you see that manifesting actually all across the bloranges, the blue orange things, and you see like a small blip through some of the vines. You don't see it on the coconuts, actually.
And what kind of magic is it?
The dreaded DM question.
The dreaded
what aura?
question. What school?
What aura? What school?
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just always a dreaded DM question.
No, it's a
5 minutes later.
On the oranges, it's necromancy.
Just to clarify, I want a clarification here. In Paizo, that could be healing as well, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Healing is necromancy in Paizo. I just want to make sure. That's my understanding.
Could be.
Yeah, could be. I'm not saying it is. I'm just, for some of us who don't necessarily play in Paizo or Pathfinder all the time, I want to.
When Gabe talks like this, it maybe means something else.
So it's two kinds of magic actually. You get necromancy and you get primal magic.
Oh.
And Yellow, roll damage for the coconut for me, please.
Oh no.
I rolled them both, and they're both 5 damage. So as he's swinging, he's like, "Oh, just prepare some garnish for later." He's swinging at these fruits.
And as like you cut through this coconut, it like falls to the ground. How are you cutting through this coconut? It's very important information.
Diagonally, so.
Oh,
so like Fruit Ninja.
Like Fruit Ninja, yeah.
Oh, so like okay, diagonally as in like you're cutting in beneath my fists, or you're cutting like top down to my fists.
I'm confused by the question.
Diagonally. I said horizontal and vertical, and you said diagonal.
In between those two answers. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. So cool. All right. So you cut through diagonally, chang, and it falls to the ground. And like actually, as it falls to the ground, it splits up into different pieces, and it's like got like crab legs on like each coconut, and they're like, but most of them you cut through, but the one in the back, because you cut diagonally, it like sprints off into the woods.
I was possibly thinking about putting that into an ale of some sort, but not anymore. That looks very unappetizing.
Gabe, is that natural?
No.
Yeah.
I've seen.
You needed to ask.
That's not. Those aren't coconuts.
Yeah.
And the
coconuts
juice.
normally crabs.
No, they're
Well,
crabs
these
are an
coconuts.
animal, and
These
coconuts are a
coconuts.
plant. Well, technically a seed, but or protection of a seed.
Let's keep our distance from the foliage and the flora of this here region. How about that?
Holy, what is that? What was that?
A demon?
Okay, you don't know either. Okay, demons it is!
The blorange juice splatters on the ground, and it's actually like a red color. And there's kind of a, ooh, this is funny. I can do whatever I want here because I'm God.
You can make a necromancy mimosa with them.
Delicious.
Necromosa.
Rolls off the tongue.
Monster.
Gross. No.
It hits the ground.
Magrosna, that's what.
It goes up, and because it's funny, there's a small skull that appears, and then it, like in cartoons, because I get to do that here.
You know, I'm not a fortune teller, but I'd say that's not good news right there.
Yeah, don't eat the fruit.
Yeah, that would be the poison I talked about, I think.
Cappy.
Right. Okay.
Squick,
Yeah.
squack.
No, those are my brother and sisters. I'm
Make a-
Squick. They're Squeak and Squack.
If Squick dies, he becomes Squack.
Right.
Actually, is anyone proficient in
Siblings too.
anyone who's proficient in nature or occultism? Make a roll for me, whichever one you want.
Do I get any benefits for having lore cult?
Yes, 4.
Ooh.
Wait, I regret that. You've been rolling high.
Okay.
No, it's fine. You can have it. You can have it. It's gonna infect you if you touch it.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it though. All right.
Also, I want to say actively, any Pathfinder writers watching, if you like this stuff, put it in the book, and then it's funnier. I give you permission.
There was a
Roll
comment from official Paizo earlier, so they might be watching.
That's why I said it. I want it.
That's why you smart. All right. So I
Smith,
rolled
23.
21. I rolled a
I got
6 and
21
got a
nature.
21.
Oh my god.
Have we rolled below a 15 this entire game?
Once.
There was a 6.
Yellow
rolled a
has
6, yeah.
because yellow
Okay.
rolls high or low, and there's no in between.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gabe, I got a 24 with a natural 20 on my Jasper's game day dice.
I would like everyone watching to give me more villain points, please. Because
You have a bunch.
yeah, I need more. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna use 2 villain points to do interesting things.
no.
Anyways, so all of you, you look at this and you get a little bit closer, and Colby, as he's hearing and seeing all of you analyze this strange mist and juice and describing it, Colby gets hit with a memory or realization. And the smell, as all of you have looked closer at it, Moa, you even, and what skill did you use, Moa?
I use nature. So I probably read something in my studies and of doing things.
This has a very similar like scent, and what you can tell like a composition of something akin to like almost an adjacent concept of steroids, where it is enhancing physical ability, but the way that this is altered with magic, as you've been able to discern from Peli, that there is necromancy and primal tied to it, with Angazan being a figure who revives people into these figures. This liquid is probably combined with the magic of that revival to make these people stronger, more primal, more animal-like, and enhance that rage inside of them. And Colby recognizes
the rage
because he did not engage in this rage juice. But he does remember smelling something similar to this when it had rained months ago. And days later, people started to act weird. And these plants were not here the last time he was here, so it makes him wonder.
Okay.
Sharing that, it's like steroids, definitely. This is the juice. So juice to amplify. Magic is entwined in this. Squeak, I think a few other people can figure this out. If I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but it jacks you up. But full of that rage of jack juice, the steroid type thing. So I think there's a combination of things in this one. So we may or may not want to avoid it, or at least destroy it. It's up to you, really. What does the group like to do?
I have a question.
Yes?
If I get it on my skin, is it equivalent to drinking it?
The absorption factor, if I recall in the book that I read, the absorption factor is a little bit slower if the skin, depending on the butt.
Okay.
Probably not. I think you do have to ingest it and circulate it through the stomach and the yes.
You could be wrong there, Moa. Colby said that it rained that weird liquid down and it caused people to behave strangely. Isn't that right there, Colby?
Yes, it is.
Not perfect. So
no, it's fine.
No problem.
We should just avoid it at all costs.
Squick pulls out his healing kit and grabs, I assume, a vial in there. And puts on some his gloves that he carries in order to pick plants and things from nature.
Okay, so I don't want to get this on me, right?
Are there any of them that are already on the ground that have already fallen fruit that are just beyond ripe?
Nope. It looks like they are. As you look closer, it looks like this might almost be an orchard.
Oh. Hey, Rick, can you do me a favor?
Rick.
No, it's fine. You don't have to use that name. We're buddies now. You can call me Yolo if you want.
Oh, but every stranger that comes into the inn calls you Yolo, so wouldn't your friends call you Rick?
Well, you bring up a good point there, Squick. You've actually seen right through my deception, so yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to expose you so quickly. Can you cut down one of these blorges for me? Blues?
The blorges or the blues?
The blues.
Blues?
The thing that looks like an orange, but it's blue.
Right. Can you point to it real quick?
That one.
All right. That one right there? All right.
Yeah, don't cut it in half. I want you to cut it near the
All right.
stick.
Let me... Hold on. All right. Let me see. All right.
He pulled out his fighting glasses.
Oh, yeah. It's, sometimes when you need to make precision cuts... And we're talking about fruits especially. You need to get the slice just right to go around the rim. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to take a slash with his Kopesh.
Hey.
Slash.
Go ahead. Make that attack.
19.
You see a vine slap your Kopesh out of the way.
Whoa.
Oh, well, that ain't normal.
Okay,
yeah, maybe we should keep moving.
That's a clear no. So the plant does not consent. We should leave.
Hold on,
does not consent. We should leave.
Hey, would you mind if I just gave you a little cut there? And I'm gonna try and, honestly.
Are you asking the tree?
Yeah, I'm using Bond. I'm about to use Bon Mott as my skill feat to launch an insightful quip at a foe.
Oh.
And I make a roll a diplomacy check against the target Will's DC. Hey, you know what? You're not doing any good here, so why don't you just let yourself be cut?
I also do the same thing and add to his assist him because I also have Bon Bon.
All right, take a +4.
Oh no!
All right, that's a 25 to hit. Is he
Uh,
Gabe, I'm going to.
Here's
ahead,
a weird
Jen.
one.
Oh, God. All right, I thought we are gonna go around the table. Go
Could
ahead.
I look at the orange and invoke its true name? The blorange? And because I know it truly is an orange, not a blorange, right? Would its true name be orange? Would that be a fair assumption?
I don't know. Hold on.
Let me check the ancient
Poor
text
Gabe.
of the
We breaking Gabe. All right.
I'll throw a hero point on it if that helps.
Yeah.
If
True
you
name
need that
is Herbert.
perk.
You know
its
what?
true name is
It's-
the one word that rhymes with
it's-
orange.
It's scored. Its true name is its true name is the Azure Devil Fruit.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Who the hell asks for the true name of a fruit? What a weird.
My name is
Kretchmer.
Kelly.
Gabe, Squick, if the fruit is cut without cutting the flesh of the fruit and it comes down as a whole fruit, he will spend a hero point to dive and catch it before it hits the ground.
This party.
It's so epic.
It's the most epic cutting of a fruit off a tree that anyone has ever seen.
Can I? Would I be able to aid with my athletics to kind of like grab Squick by the scruff and like give him a little bonus toss for the dive?
Yeah, sure. What about you, Jula? Are you just gonna look at Shane? Because I would.
She's just looking there, just writing, just waiting to see what happens. Going, okay, if this goes wrong, I really want to get this down right away.
Okay. Well, my total was a 13 with my hero point. So, yes, you majestic, and you're cutting the branch, not the tree in its entirety. You're just cutting the fruit down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
so you make a clean cut of the fruit, and as you make that clean cut, you almost like spin around and then grab Squick and
Oopsie daisy.
like just toss Squick.
I've got it.
And you're like gently trying to negotiate with this tree as Pelly is like, be kind, blue devil fruit, and I guess you feel a tree quiver. I don't know. This is where we're at now. Oh my God, we have passed our goal significantly.
Oh,
That is
wow.
$1,165 that we have raised for Jasper's Game Day. I want to point out, it has been 2 hours.
2 hours.
My gosh.
In 2 hours, this is the impact we have made. There are so many more games to come. Thank you, Blandy McBlanderson.
Thank you so much, Blandy.
Thank
It
you.
was
Thank
just
you.
also just a fun name. As you cut the tree down, I agree, John. As you cut this
Seconded,
thing
John.
down,
Seconded.
Moa, all of you here, because it's horrifying. 2 eyes open up on the tree, and a mouth. Like, you know those weird, did any of you have those neighbors, or you were that person that had those tree faces that they put on trees?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yup.
Yeah.
And it just looks at all of you, and it lets the fruit fall, and it falls with his eyes. And Squick, you get thrown forward, and you slide across, and you grab it, and the tree starts to quake and quiver for a second, but then it calms down. Misa, very thankful you asked first. Misa wasn't sure if you were going to be good, but Misa has been cursed for so long. Misa was making the fruit of this cursed ape creature. Misa did not like it, but now Misa trusts you to let me, sir, and my family rest. Does Jar Jar Banks never say me? Have I never considered that they only say Misa?
Yep.
Oh God,
They
I
only
hate
ever
it.
say Misa.
Everything's
Well,
Misa.
Oh my.
Visa,
Everything-
Yusa, Vesa.
It's a use of Asa. Yep.
Mhm.
It's the
Pronouns,
conjugation,
really. Yeah.
the conjugation
Yeah.
tree of
Yep.
I
And you
think
know what?
I speak for everyone when I say, Misa, you're welcome.
I believe it's
Yusa
welcome.
Yusa.
You so
Oh,
welcome.
All right. I was just, I'm doing my best here. All right.
And it's a really weird moment, but just
Yeah.
everything about this is weird. As the tree's eyes close, the tree line, you feel the ground start to quake and shake, and it actually parts a pathway
Oh,
further into the jungle.
good job. Good job.
well,
That's
It's a team effort.
Orange.
It's awfully kind of you there, Mr. Ms. They Tree. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And the fruit is pulsing in your hand.
Mix
Squick.
is a really good gender neutral honorific.
Mix. That's a good one. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So in the healing kit, is there something like a syringe?
Yes.
So Squick will assemble the syringe and stick it in said fruit and pull out said juice and put it in a vial and top it.
I want you to know, now you have to remember you have Azure devil fruit juice in a vial in your
Great.
pocket.
Great. And when he does that, he tosses the fruit.
Okay, I got it.
Where do you toss it? Just on the ground?
Back towards where the tree is. Back as Squick. Squick kind of assumes if it's a tree that's sentient, it makes seeds. So make sure its children are nearby it because family is everything. So
And no one else wants to touch it?
hey,
To catch it? Start
Squick.
from hitting the ground?
Squick, just so you know, if you plan to drink that later, just let me know and I can tie you up to something to make sure that you don't get, a little crazy.
I don't plan on drinking
top.
something. I have no idea how it works. It's
Right.
for study, I promise.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if you change your mind, just let me know.
Okay.
I'm not saying okay, just conversation.
You'll be the first one to know, Rick, I promise.
I appreciate it. Yep.
This is weird.
Very weird.
So you start moving your way down this pathway, and after about half an hour of walking, actually, because them clearing a path that kind of twisted and turned did shorten your travel time, you do see what looks to be an entrance to a cave, and standing in front of it, pacing back and forth, is a relatively shorter figure wearing a silver cloak, who doesn't seem to have noticed any of you yet.
Do I smell ash because I have imprecise scent? And assuming Squick would have mentioned it.
Make a survival check for me to test the power of your nasal passages. What a weird sentence.
Hey, Colby.
Your
Colby
olfactory senses.
Colby, I happened to notice a dwarven-sized gentleman wearing something silver over there. Would that happen to be that silver shepherd fella you told us about?
Get him. I mean, yes.
So
And-
Kelly begins to just sort of casually draw patterns in the dirt with her feet. It's a dance. And I'm actually going to use that to inspire courage. So everyone will get a +1 status bonus to attacks, damage, and saves against fear effects for the next round.
And then Julia.
This one
And I
adds.
spent one of my hero points to get a 25 on that
Oh my god.
because I really want to know.
It is the scent of ash with the pungent scent. At first it was subtle, but now that you were able to catch it, the scent of ash is actually interlaced with the smell of those bloranges that your party was interacting. So it is almost like those two things are interlined to make this strange foreign scent. And someone said it, so I'm going to say it. It's like smelling an evil Capri Sun.
Yes, I smell the evil
Capri
Capri
movie.
Sun with that ashy smell you described,
Caprival
Theory.
Caprival Sun.
Caprival Sun.
Capri
That's good.
Sin.
There
it is.
Capri Sin. Yeah,
Winner.
that's it.
Oh, excellent.
So good.
That may be your godfather there, Squick.
That's definitely my godfather.
Can we see the cavern where the beacon might be? Okay, beyond.
It's like right behind them. Yeah, it's like maybe like 10, 15 feet behind. It's like a large cavernous entrance that seems like it goes and descends downwards.
Just be very careful. He tends to get angry, and you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
He headbutts a tree in the distance, and then a fruit falls, and.
Oh, okay. I got an idea. Just go with me on this one. Pappy! Hey, Pappy! Pappy!
Well, he's doing that. Quick question.
And Squick kind of runs out excitingly towards the dwarf.
Pappy!
That's one way to go. Okay.
Yeah. So just so we understand, everyone's on the same page. While he's doing that, we're going to defeat this guy. Are we going quick, or are we going to take our time? Is this a quick thing to hit him really hard, or are we just going to take time?
You're watching our rat folk just ran out to give him a great big hug, right?
Ooh. Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay.
All right.
I would like to stealth, I think, Mason, kind of around towards the cavern if I can, keeping an eye on Squick and the Mr. Silver Shepherd.
Does anyone else want to stealth? Squick,
I would like to stealth as well,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
I don't want to stealth, but I want to hunt prey as a ranger, which gives me bonus against them, but also will give me a free knowledge check on them as well.
Oh God. Okay. Hell yes.
Moa's gonna step out behind him and all joy, like I'm here with him.
Oh,
I also have free knowledge checks on because of bardic stuff.
Terrifying. Yolo, be my voice of reason. What would you like to do?
He's going to run up with Squick and be like, "Hey, howdy, partner. I was just wondering."
Okay.
And I guess he's just gonna. Yeah, he's gonna wait to see what Squick is gonna do before he attacks, but he'll have the. Yeah, he'll just be ready.
Squick, how tall are you?
I am 3.5 feet tall.
Okay, so close. So you're basically an adult. So this is obnoxious, but they like pick you up under the shoulders.
Oh,
Lovely little.
Squick! It's Squick! It's Squick! Hi, Pappy!
Is this like a
Just
Patrick Swayze
reunion
moment?
ever.
Like, is this
Yes.
like the
100%.
Does he? Do you tee out like while you're in the
And you,
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I don't know if you can see I'm doing out for
my
sure.
lovely little Squick. And you get the scent of the Bloranges very
Yeah.
strongly. Oh, you've come home. Good.
I know that you loved oranges. Are these blue oranges very good? Do you enjoy them?
Yes. Do you want one? And they pull out a
No.
mushy one.
And I pull and Squick pulls out a vial.
I have this one.
Oh,
It's for
concentrate.
you.
You shouldn't have.
Yeah.
They take it.
There's a lot
And
of
as
things
he
Squick shouldn't have done.
Squick kind of just waits for him to drink it.
How you been, Pappy?
Good. I found the strangest thing yesterday. I
Oh,
found a large elk. So I ate it whole.
And as he drinks it, Squick will cast Calm Emotions on using a hero point on the juice inside of the vial.
Ooh, nice.
It's my DC.
Ew, baby.
Your DC is 19.
I'm going to use a hero point beforehand, a villain point, to give myself a +8.
It is I believe it is a will save. It's a will save.
That's a 34.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Wow.
That saves for sure.
So about those villain points. What a weird extra taste. What? Did you add salt again? You salty little
I
spittoon.
did. I salted it. You know I love salt, Pappy.
I do. So, do you have any cuts? I would like to put salt in the wound.
No, I'm not cut yet today.
Yet. Good.
Yeah,
Who are your friends?
Oh, yeah, these are my friends. That's Rick. This is a mage of some sort. I believe his name is Mao. That's Judah. This is
hidden.
That is a stranger I've never met before. He just showed up. And that's Pelly. And this is Colby.
So the funny thing is, Grigsby and Pelly are not visible.
I rolled a 24 on my stealth check.
And Squick's not even looking. He's just pointing behind him.
You have been definitely having more oranges. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
What can I do with all of you? Are you all? Did you come here for the mimosas?
Mimosas? Oh, well.
Funny you say that. I was actually looking at expanding our menu for the evening, and we thought, I heard a little bit about you, as a matter of fact, and I was hoping that you could share a couple of your secrets. Maybe we could just talk shop a little bit. I don't know if you're busy right now. I see that you're consuming whole objects, and maybe that takes a while. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Okay, so
let's find out about that. Pelly will cast from being hidden. Illusionary creature, and I know he just talked about having, they talked about having an elk the other day.
Yes.
And so I will cast a very, very large, well-antlered elk that comes stepping out of the woods. And as soon as they start to pursue it, it will turn and run away from us as far as I can get it to go, which is about 500 feet.
God, this is weird. Okay, so the way that I like to play role-playing games is that even if you're technically trying, this is good. This is good for all of you. Even if you're trying to trick someone, depending on how you phrase things, and Pelly's action will help with this. Depending on how you phrase things, since Yolo, you did not lie technically, and I hated it.
But let me just point out also that I have lore alcohol as a proficiency, so...
Oh, there you go.
That's a proficiency. I missed that one. How don't I have that?
So because, everything that you said was fitting to your character and your background, you didn't lie about any of this technically, I would let you roll deception or diplomacy on that, Yolo.
Yeah, buddy.
How do I use hero points? I rolled a 13 plus 6, 19...
So you add 4. Yep.
And 23. Did I do that right? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's well, then I have, the thing that dogs do when they see movement out of the corner of their eye.
So can I add one thing before I do that, actually?
Sure.
Can I set up a grease over where I'm leading it?
Yeah. And
Julia.
you know what? Jula, because of your high scent check earlier, you do get a whiff of the grease in the distance. Well, and you have become accustomed to splitting up the smells of the citrus. That's the word. God, it took me an hour to get there. Citrus with the ash, and then you catch a whiff of that grease oil in the distance. And you're pappy, Squick.
Pappy!
Are you hungry?
Yes.
Grigsby has been stealthing his way over towards the mouth of the cavern while all this is happening.
Make another stealth check.
Cool.
Moa, make a survival check for me.
And don't forget, you get the
There it
I
is.
think is on that too.
There it is. That's a nat
no.
1. That's a nat 1.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Good.
Hero points.
Even with a hero point, with a hero point, that's a 13. But
It's a reroll.
Yeah, it's a reroll.
is a hero point a reroll?
You can reroll it, yeah.
How dare all of you?
Ah!
How dare all of you?
Went from a 1 to a nat 19 to a 27.
Ooh.
Anyways, Mo, about that.
Gabe,
about that
I was
check.
ready for that. I wanted to.
So survival not being his main area because he relies on everyone else. It's only a 12.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
I'm not using a hero point. I've got those saved. Gabes.
So Grigsby, you actually trip and then roll into it. Oh, those forsaken squirrels.
They're everywhere, Pappy. I've seen a bunch of them.
And then Squick, make a diplomacy check for me.
Can I use my feat, schooled in secrets, to sub occultism for diplomacy in this case?
Yes, you can.
Yes. That's what I like to hear, Gabe. Thank you.
Use it.
I am going to go ahead and use a hero point on this and add +8 because I don't know what the roll is. I'm glad I did that because it's 24. What, my occultism? I mean, my occultism's +8. I got another +8 from the hero
So that's a
point.
plus 16.
Right, and I rolled a 4, so 20.
God, you're a monster.
I mean, that was kind of my whole thing. Monster hunting monsters.
And you do, God, do you know how there's like puppy dog eyes? Well, this is rat folk eyes. Your eyes get like big and you swear that there's a little bit of like stars in them.
Cutest
I'm
rat.
hungry, Pappy. And they take out that like mushy orange and like squeeze the juice down their arm, and then like they lick it up like a platypus licking fur, because platypi sweat milk, and that's how their children feed on the milk of their backs. So they lick it up.
True story. True story.
Disgusting. One of my favorite.
What?
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Platypi sweat milk. They don't secrete it from their body in other ways, so their young lick their back fur to get milk.
Today I learned
The weirdest animal.
Yes.
The weirdest animal.
So then the juice comes down their arm, and they like lick up the fur.
Evolution went wrong.
And like you actually see their eyes, and then their pupils expand, their teeth elongate a little bit. They go into an all-four stance and then like sprint after this creature. And seconds later, after they go through the brush, you hear a boom, like a slamming sound, and you see a tree branch. And because it's comical, not trees. Oh my God, that's the wrong word.
Little tiny
Birds
trees fall off the tree.
There you go.
Birds fly up into the air where a tree was hit.
As soon as Pappy runs away from the mouth of the cavern, Squick, sort of as quick as he can, makes it for the mouth of the
Yeah,
cavern.
same.
Oh.
Grigsby, same.
It's time to go!
The traps! Wait for the traps!
Grigsby,
What?
Grigsby,
Totally forgot about the traps.
Actually, since
Totally forgot
you snuck your way into the cavern, go ahead and make a survival check for me first. Just because I'm a kind GM.
Yes, you are.
Thanks.
Kindest and best of GMs.
Magnanimous.
I'm rolling very well. That's a dirty 20.
Disgusting.
No hero point needed.
You see, God, I love this list. Yeah,
Are
sure,
you
that
saying
was
it's a
fun.
pointless?
The alphabetized.
Oh God.
The alphabetized traps.
Wait, what'd you
list.
roll?
20.
Oh, never mind.
I see everything.
It's like a long, hollow cavern that kind of just keeps going downwards. So who wants to go first?
That'll be, I guess, Yolo, since he probably has the most hit points.
I mean, I'm pretty acrobatic,
Yeah.
and you know what? I'll Catherine Zeta-Jones it through the lasers on this. Far sexier, I assure you.
Yeah.
Gabe, I have a quick question. This giant hole, how far does it go down? And is the little gem at the end, or is it just the entrance?
It's just the entrance. It goes down, then it curves left.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Okay. Got it.
Not that easy.
Well, yeah, never know.
Y'all got this far. Y'all got this far out of my magnanimous kindness. Now it gets funky. So Yellow, you're going first?
Yeah, I'll go first. And if I die, I guess Grigsby is up.
Make a survival check for me.
Careful there.
Oh, that's not going to go well.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I guess it will. A flat 19. I don't have any bonuses.
Yes. You see nothing as you're walking down.
Oh no!
Oh, it sounds totally fine.
Hey,
problem.
This looks pretty safe, y'all. They probably put all the traps outside, and we just narrowly avoided them. Before
and then you step on a tile that depresses ever so slightly.
Oh heck!
And and you notice now that there were a wall opens up, and there is an ape statue that it's a really elaborate thing. This is just more so for show. They could have just made this just a firing mechanism, but we go for
pride in their
performances
craftsmanship.
here. Exactly.
For sure.
So it's an ape statue that propels a spear at you for a 30 to hit.
Jeez.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that hits pretty squarely.
Hell yeah. For 12 piercing damage.
Oh, that's smarts.
And now this is your choice. Would you like this spear to impale you on the wall? Do you want it to go through?
Well, since I've got all this armor, I imagine it just kind of gets stuck in there, and then I just kind of get stuck against the wall, and I'm like, oh, well, all right, little help.
Got you.
And Squick will. How far away is he from Squick currently?
About 15 feet.
Okay, Squick will
make a survival check.
Okay.
Oh wait, you're not moving?
No.
Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna stay there because clearly a trap went off, and Squick's like, I'm
going in there until the meat shield has triggered them all.
That's
Squick
not a
is
nice
going to
thing
cast.
To call someone.
Squick is going to use his 3. What are they called? They're not actions. Are they actions? The 3 you get around, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The 3 actions. The first one is going to be a thoughtful gift. Casting a thoughtful gift.
I love these spells.
I teleport 1 object, light or negligible bulk, and what I teleport to you is a minor healing potion. The object appears instantly in the target's hand if they have a free hand, or at their feet if they don't. The target knows what object you are attempting to send them. If the target is unconscious or refuses to accept your gift, then the spell fails. But yeah.
Then they are unbelievably rude.
Do you accept the gift?
I refuse.
Yolo's gonna. Hey, look at that! There's a potion, and since
go ahead. Yep.
Since I'm proficient in medicine, and this is the only time I'm gonna use this, I'm just gonna take a look to see how bad it is. I rolled a 12. Looks pretty bad. I appreciate this. All right, so.
And then immediately as he downs it, Squick will also cast, using the last 2 of his actions, Spirit Link. So I form a natural link with Rick. So I allow it to take its pain. At the start of each of your turn, if you're below maximum hit points, you can regain 2 hit points. Mm-hmm. Whatever hit points you regain in that matter, I take as damage.
Ooh.
Up to 2.
That's a very unfair relationship for the 2 of us. Okay.
Well, I can heal myself a lot easier than I can heal you from a distance.
Here's what we will do. There are a plethora of traps. I won't tell you how many, but if anyone would like to volunteer to try to find one, they can try to find it. If they fail to find it, then the trap will activate. So I am just going to let you volunteer to try to discover it.
I have a suggestion as everyone's going to allow me to try something first, if I may.
Jerk.
And as my
all right,
using a mage hand and a hero point and my reach spell I just send it 60 feet along, 5, 10, 15, 20, and just hitting every location and trying to get the traps triggered before we walk down.
A really good call.
You trigger 3.
I sent one too.
Traps. Okay, definitely do not. We can step there unless they reach.
Poor
so
mage hand.
Oh yes. It's fine. It's fine.
All right.
So 2 of them are flamethrowers coming out from the side, and one of them triggers. What was that? A spinning blade pillar.
Oh my!
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing about that one. Oh, nasty little thing. Yes.
Yeah, and it comes up and it spins around, and it's actually kind of like old and decrepit a little bit. So the blades are kind of rusted off. So some of them actually like shoot out as it's spinning around trying to cut, which wouldn't have been an area effect damage or anything, and it's totally irrelevant now.
I look behind us. Is the Mr. Silver Shepherd still busy with the elk and grease trap in the forest?
I don't know. You don't see him in the forest. Who knows what's happening in there? It's irrelevant.
We should probably keep moving.
You hear a bellowing roar.
Okay. All right. Grigsby seeing all these things tripping along the floor. Can I try to make an acrobatics check to parkour further down into the cavern and maybe avoid the floor?
Sure as heck can. Make that roll.
I'm gonna try
Dwarf
to do
core.
that.
Dwarf core. Dwarf core.
We have heard the voice of Angazan, correct? Angazan spoke from the clouds.
Yeah, I guess that's technically true, huh?
23 on an acrobatics check.
So you know that thing where like it's like American Ninja Warrior where someone's like hopping side to side to side. These walls are not like perfectly smooth because this is like a cavern. Like basically think like someone with a giant fist kept just like punching downwards. And it just kept, whoa, that'd be metal as hell. Anyways. And that's what formed this cavern. So like you're hopping wall to wall to wall. It's kind of dope.
It's pretty dope.
It is.
I'm
you know
good
what?
at some things.
You know what? Never mind. I'm just going to do a favor, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until it happens. What are you thinking, Pelly? Why did you ask if you've heard the name of a god before?
Because I would like to message our good friend, the Silver Shepherd, in the voice of Angazan.
Oh boy!
Oh no!
Say, leave them be. I have plans for them. Leave them.
Make a deception roll for me. Just
oh yeah.
Just for the fun of it.
I would ask if there's some way I could use my cult knowledge to increase her abilities, informing her how Angazan might actually speak in this way.
I'll let you add a +4 because of reading words and scripture of it. You would probably be able to say like, here are words that Angazan has used more often to help influence what she says and how she says it.
I'm going to use a hero point.
Do it.
So that's a +12.
Okay,
yeah.
So I have a +12. So on the reroll, that was a 19.
Oh my god.
Plus I also rolled my d4, which gives me an additional 1.
32.
So dirty 20 plus 12 is 32.
I rolled a 28 to try to convince
Oh man. Yeah.
By the way, side note, this is a thing Pelly does. She does impersonate gods, or she invents gods to impersonate.
So you know
this
how
is a long-standing history for her. So
you know
I'm very pleased to be able to pull that out.
People hear different voices for themselves in their head than they do out loud.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that's what this spell actually applies. The voice that the Silver Shepherd has in his head is different than the voice he has out loud.
Silver Shepherd thinks that that's a great idea as long as you agree that they will become into our fold and then become a greater part of the things that we're going to do here. Yes.
They've been drinking way too much of the tree fruit. Way too much of the tree fruit.
Avoid those necromosas. They're just the worst.
He absorbed part of the personality of the tree.
Yeah. As Yolo pulls a spear out of his chest, the necromosas are definitely the worst here.
And they're bottomless, just like your soul.
Hey, you know,
nailed it.
There are 4 more hero points to the pool. That's great. That's great. Thanks everyone. That's awesome. It's not like you're rolling like 30.
Yeah.
I'm rolling 28.
We can actually redistribute if you all would like to just add 1 to your pools, and then we'll have 1 floating. I'm sorry, we'll have 2 floating.
Copy.
We're adding 4?
Yes.
Thank you for.
So yes, we'll have 2 floating.
Great.
Beautiful. So you, God, stupid mage hands and reasonable uses. And, oh, this teamwork is great.
Yeah.
Teamwork is amazing. I love
Stupid
it.
smart players.
Yeah. How dare you? How dare you? Make reasonable choices for a good cause.
Why can't y'all be like Rick and just run into the traps?
No, I'm here to keep the status quo, and
I
it is my
detect
first
traps with my face.
Also, to be honest, Yolo was probably the only one who could probably take a spear to the chest like that.
I think that's why he did it.
So I guess that's good.
Jula has, good survival and thievery, but she wasn't going to walk first.
Jula is
She
Jula
also has
is
a good intelligence.
She's the powerhouse mother that if someone she's the powerhouse mother that practices like laissez-faire. If it really goes bad, she'll stop you. But if you hit your head, you learn from it.
You learn
Right.
something. That's right.
Won't do that again.
If you can remember after you hit your head.
Look, I'll tell you it's hot, but if you're gonna touch the stove, you're gonna learn it's hot.
That's true. So you all start traveling down this turn, and you start hearing a thrum. Thrum, thrum, thrum.
Who forgot to eat?
Some good ambiance in here, I gotta say.
There is like a pulsing light now. And what else can I put against them? I'm glad you asked. The light
Thanks,
in this underground cavern was a luminous algae that was along the walls that gave a nice green glow, but it was subtle. As you are going further and down this corner, there is a pulsing red glow that you see what looks to be just around a left turn and bend. And you see Colby actually starts to wince even more. I don't know if I can go down myself. The closer I get, the more it burns.
All right.
I can make sure that nothing comes down.
Right.
Are you sure, dear? I mean, okay.
They make creams for that too, so just so you know.
Okay,
Doesn't
here
come
you
along
go.
That's
You
even
stay
Colby,
here,
I'm
but
gonna leave you with this lotion and this here potion.
There you go. Get him, Squick.
They're not the same, right?
No,
don't-
they are not.
Okay.
One is to make your skin feel better and lessen in age because it's full of antioxidants, and the other one is to heal you if you're hurt.
Which one's the lotion?
The one that doesn't look drinkable.
I mean,
This one.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't drink that. It'll taste weird.
You remember, for proper skincare, you have to be moisturizing from the inside as well as the outside. So
Right.
you've got to stay hydrated. So you
Sounds
drink
like
the potion.
I
And
did
then
once make
you apply the topicals.
I did once brew an oatmeal stout that was very similar to a lotion in texture. Actually, now that you think about it,
This is it's a tropical island, not a topical island. You're very close.
That's very yeah, that's let me hold on.
But
And he pulled out
you
his
get
book.
a lot of your topicals from the tropicals.
all right.
Well, and when it's newsworthy,
All right, getting a lot of good puns here.
And
Topical,
Jula's been
topical.
holding this bronze tube for a while. Bronze cylinder about the size of a push bottle. She's going to give it to him and go, "Here, just in case you need this, dearie." She goes, "If you twist and push right here, it's going to actually fire a net out." And it's a spring-loaded net launcher that I found from browsing through one of my books I got for Christmas. And it can shoot a net up to 60 feet at a target.
Whoa!
Christmas.
So just in
Nice.
case you need this, dear, in case Poppy comes back, you might want this.
Yeah.
All right.
Although you might want to feed the lotion to Pappy.
Also, if you could just be a real pal, and in case Poppy does come back, scream really loud. That'd be great.
Yeah,
We would
yeah.
appreciate
Good
that
idea,
as
Rick.
well.
Good idea.
We'd love a warning there. If
I mean, if you're already going to be checked out, you know what I'm saying? You could at least do us a solid, and just let us know.
That's true. Okay.
No.
Easy.
Preach.
Easy. Yes.
Or an amorphous liquid. You could do us an amorphous liquid.
Is this lotion
The lotion.
flammable?
The lotion.
non-Newtonian fluid.
Yeah.
Is the lotion flammable by chance?
I haven't tried that. You could try it though.
Okay. Good. And they're looking at the lotion and the net gun. And then they kind of just
you're set. Except for a great Friday night.
Yeah. Yep. You're gonna have a great time.
Healing potion, lotion, and a net.
Since Yellow is a fighter, does that make you a Friday night?
Yeah.
Well done.
It sure does.
Ba-do-boo.
This is all I ever wanted. All right. Kobe starts like slowly walking up, and there's like a reinvigorated excitement. There's no fear. They're gonna probably go. Never mind.
Leave this to your friends there, Colby. We got this.
Yeah. And so there is just that turn where you see the pulsing light. Is there anything any of you want to do before walking in to something?
Yes. Squick will pull on Rick's shirt a little bit.
Before you go in there,
right.
Here, take this.
And I cast Healer's Blessing on you.
Oh, well, thanks. I feel better already. What does it do?
So when I heal you, you will gain an additional 4 hit points every time I heal you.
Ooh.
Which includes the Spirit Link if you take, I think, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it says when hit points from a healing spell, you gain additional 4.
So I don't gain any right now?
Every start of every round, you're getting 2 back.
Okay.
You can choose to get up to 2 back. But then you'll get an additional 4, whichever you take. So if you take 1 or 2, you'll still get the +4 on top of it.
Okay. I'm going to forget all of those rules.
I got you.
Okay.
Right now, I assume it's been more than 1 round. If you still have hit points lost, you could probably take another 2, and I'll take 2 more hit points off.
Okay, yeah. That Yolo's going to do that selflessly.
Cool. Yeah, I got you. I got it. I'll let you know how many hit points you get back.
All right.
I think Grigsby is probably going to go stealthy again as we sort of round the corner, because, I mean, it's probably just the beacon, but in case there's any sort of sentience down there, I'm going to try to sneak.
I will inspire courage again.
Smart.
And looking into that room, is there anything that we can, like, is there anything visible in there that is?
Y'all are around the corner. It's when you come around, you'll see into the room.
Oh, I'll just, since I have it, I actually have battle medicine as a feat. So I'll just go ahead and just patch myself up before we walk around the corner.
Y'all the worst.
I think, I'm not sure what I roll here. I'm reading it doesn't tell me what to roll, so I think I just roll a medicine check, and then, like, it says I heal a corresponding amount of hit points.
Yeah.
Battle medicine? I got you.
Yeah.
I think it's just a normal medicine check. You got to hit at least DC 15.
Okay,
Exactly.
so I hit 22 total.
Beautiful. Okay. So 22, 10 hit points.
Okay. I should have saved that, but that's all right.
You can save it if you want to.
I restored
Yeah,
7.
because my healing should be able to, in the next round or 2, should be able to completely heal you.
All right, I will take everyone's advice and save it then. Okay.
I will. So I rolled a 25 on my stealth to kind of round the corner.
Nice.
Okay. So, beautiful. All right, you're walking around this. You're all walking around this corner. Grigsby is in stealth. You see what looks to be a gigantic red ape's paw arm that's like a statue, holding a large red gem in between its talons. And the gem itself is like about this big, like half the size of a head, I would say. And this light is pulsing. Boom, boom, boom. Now, do any of you actually step into this room? This room is a large room about like 40 feet around.
Yeah, Yolo's gonna go.
Yeah. I think Grigsby does as well.
I will be keeping a 10-foot distance between me and Rick, so yes.
I really think there's some curious things in here. I think it's an exciting opportunity for us.
Yep.
Did you just want me to grab it? Magic?
Yeah, I can try and get it with a mage hand, but
yeah. Dude, Wonder Twin powers activate together?
Okay, but
mage hand high five.
But do you go in the room?
Exactly.
Do you go in the room?
Well, we can try from outside the room first if you want.
I said yes.
I agree.
Colin,
Great.
You know what? I did say yes.
I'm taking it. Give me this. Y'all have been bullying me all day with your stupid high rolls and your incredible logic and reason.
Yep.
Gabe has redefined bullying to lucky rolls on math rocks.
Yellow's gonna step into the room and say, "What the Sam Hill is this?" As he uses an action to raise shield, just in case.
And then Moa, do you go in?
If everyone else is going in, Moa will like, well, why not? And then follow in.
Does Mom go in?
Rat Mom.
Yeah, she goes, why are you doing this? And she steps just across the doorway because she's not going to let a door close between you and her and all of you and being able to help
give
you.
Gabe this.
All right,
let's give it to him.
Everyone to make I need everyone to make a will saving throw, and you need above a 20 because you're monsters.
You have a +1 on it from the Inspire Courage.
All right.
24 for Yellow.
Come on. Which dice am I going to roll? Oh my gosh.
Oh, I got to re-roll.
I'm
rolling re-roll too.
insanely well today.
Oh,
I rolled a nat 19 for a 28.
I rolled another nat 20 for a 31.
Ooh.
21.
23 for Jula.
The life is just leaving Gabe's body right now.
That's cool. I'm really glad. Hey,
just for you, 20.
Really? Did you actually roll 20 on the?
No, not a nat 20, a dirty 20, just for you, just a dirty 20.
20 total? Really?
20 total.
That's great. I'm really happy for you. I'm really proud of you. All of you succeed because you're great.
What was that?
You can tell us about your trap later. I mean, we'll still
No. This is how you get evolving traps.
Oh, wow.
So you all step into this room and you feel, oh yeah, this is like an action show. Screw everything else. You feel like a force of energy push you back a little bit, but you withstand. You feel the rage of Angazan trying to find its way into your minds, but you persecute. You take one bold step. Now we're going to get ascending difficulty because this is where we are. And if any of you want to try to help these people, this is the time, because otherwise, never mind, it's relevant. But so I need everyone to make another will saving throw, but you need a 22 to pass.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to spend a hero point.
Yeah, I spend my hero point. I rolled a 10.
Oh,
another nat 19 for 28.
I hate you.
I
25.
hate me too.
Okay, so rolled a nat 19 and I added +8, so that's a 38.
Great. I'm happy for you.
Yellow did not
I rolled a nat
succeed.
19, my will saves 11, and I added 8 to that.
Yes, right.
Yellow rolled a 17 total.
I'm going to hero point to roll again because that was not good. Oh, but that might do it. 15 plus 7.
22.
22 plus the 1, so 23.
Yolo failed.
Moa?
That'd be a 22.
Hit it on the nose twice.
And I used a D4. Yep, I'm hitting him just right on the nose.
Great. Well, Yellow, you only take 6 points of damage as there's like kind of a wafting frustration and danger that you feel, and it's like racking your brain, but you shake it off a little bit.
Oh.
All right.
Kind of feels like a hangover in here.
Yes, it does. So we're going to do 2 more rolls. This one is a 24.
Will save again?
Yes.
Can we at all in any way figure out what is
causing
attacking us here?
It is almost like a mental overwhelm. It's essentially trying to take you out and then bring you back as the raging acolytes of Angazan. But because you're so close to the source, instead of it just being like inciting the rage, it is almost like a mental conflict that is so wounding, it's actually injuring you.
Okay. Is it auditory, illusion, linguistic, sonic, or visual?
I mean, you just named all of the senses.
Okay.
It's
so yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Why?
I'm gonna use my last.
Because I have a feat
point.
called Well Versed that makes me resistant to those things.
Well, no. Yes. Maybe.
I'm gonna use my last hero point because I got a 1.
Okay. What'd you get, Yellow?
No.
25.
Ooh, okay. I hate you. I hate you, Morgan. I don't care if it's not 20. Next.
No. I literally just rolled 2 1s.
Oh no.
Education.
That's for you, Gabe. That's for you, buddy.
I am also gonna burn one more hero point.
With my hero point, that's I rolled 2 nat 1s in a row. There it is. It's because I literally said in chat I've never rolled this well, and then
24. That makes it, Jen.
Yeah.
Sure.
I burned my last hero point.
It's actually 25 with the feat.
You say 28, Julia?
Yeah, I had to burn
Okay.
my last hero point for it too, though.
You're so good at everything,
Reroll.
though. Why? Squick?
I rolled a 13. I have an 11 to my will save, so that's a 24. I'm a cleric, man. I'm a cleric.
And then Moa.
Grigsby turns to Yolo. Here, you're right there. Oh!
Moa, how did you do?
Morgan,
Moa-
we do have two floating hero points that if you would like one, we're
feel
coming
bad
down to it.
using more
so-
than 1 hero point on a roll.
We have like 5 minutes.
All right, I'll use it again. Go ahead, Moa. I'm sorry.
No problem. I guess I'm taking Morgan's because I got to roll a nat 20 and a 4 for 32.
Great. How for you? It's awesome.
With my last floating hero point, then that is now a 26.
Assuming we are in rounds, Yellow, you would get another 60 points.
Yellow is going to see Grigsby struggling, and he's going to say, "Hey, buddy, you got this."
Oh my God, that's right. The only person that took damage is the person who was getting healing back.
Friendship.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Gabe is actually having a great time. Gabe does not character win, but it's fun to pretend. All right.
Power of friendship.
All right, Morgan, you shouldn't have said that because now what happens is you're all close enough that you start holding hands. I'm forcing us to hold hands. Now I'm
That's right.
No.
Come here,
you
friend.
all start to hold hands to pull your. So as you're pulling in, basically, it's how you're closing the circle tighter. So you know what? Screw
Whoever holds
having
Pelly's hands gets a hand buzzer.
screw having to reach.
And she giggle.
Kill this thing.
Is that an occult
Yes.
fireside song?
Yeah,
What is that?
that's what we sing when we
You
are
don't have to
actively
reach.
fighting the rage.
That's an
don't have to reach.
Silky Tim,
A single number.
grandmother rat.
Now we're going to make it cumulative. So I
Oh,
need
boy.
everyone to make a final will saving throw.
I think we're out of hero points, aren't
We
we?
have one left.
I have
One
one
move.
myself. I've
I
got one
have
myself.
2.
and
Can
I'll
I
be
give
using-
someone one of mine?
I guess.
I rolled a 3, so I think I'm going to take that.
Yeah,
Rolled a 5.
And I rolled a 9.
And
So
then I
that's
rolled a
s-
4.
9.
Okay.
Ooh.
So I got an 11.
I'm at 17, and I have a D4 I can throw on there,
All
but
right, I'm
that's
gonna,
not
I'm
going to
gonna,
get high
I'm gonna
enough.
ask
One more.
totals. I'm gonna ask totals in a minute. So let me know when everyone. Give me a thumbs up when you've all rolled.
Using a hero point.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna start with.
I will need a hero point if we have one available. Otherwise,
One.
otherwise,
I
bye-bye.
think we used. Okay. So Yellow, what did you get
An 11.
total?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. What did you get, Grigsby?
26.
Oh, gross. Great. What did you get, Pelly?
17.
Okay. What did you get, Jula?
That's a natural 16 for a 27. I
Okay.
used my D4 to boost it.
What did you
Or
get?
no,
Squick?
28. Sorry, 28.
28,
I forgot the
ooh.
+1 from Pelly.
No, that's done. That was only for
That's
one
done?
round.
Okay, 27.
What did you get, Squick?
Well, I used a hero point previously to get +8, and I rolled another nat 20. So that's a 39.
You went cumulative. You chose it.
I look. I don't know what the dice roll. I roll them, and they make numbers. I don't.
It's for a great cause. I don't care.
It's all good, baby.
It's fine. This is great. If this wasn't for charity, I would be upset. But it's for charity, so then I'm
Please
happy.
don't be upset. I just rolled math rocks. I don't
and then
know.
Use your ability
Moa.
to make him re-roll.
I mean, you could, right? A villain point can make me reroll.
I like the chaos.
Yeah, I think
I'm into it. I'm into it.
You've got villain points.
All right. Mo got a 25, so
okay.
And use his last hero.
If he makes Ron reroll, I have us at 105.
Okay, 106. You're close.
Okay, 106.
Yeah, I'm gonna make Squick reroll. Reroll for me.
Yeah,
Squick.
good idea. Good idea.
That's my last villain point.
All right, here we go. We're gonna roll again.
Gabe is way too excited.
I rolled a nat 19.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
For a 34?
For a 38.
38.
I'm sorry, Gabe. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It's for charity. Who cares? It's great.
Flip his table. It's for charity. Flip.
44? We didn't hit 150.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
What happened?
Nothing. I just
flipping his table.
I was crying a little bit. It's fine.
What was
that?
Do we need to keep going because we still do have one pool hero point we can throw?
I needed 120. You gave 144. The funny thing is, before even getting to Moa's roll, Squick hit 120 exactly. Because you're a monster. But then it brought us back to 106 when I got them to re-roll. But that wasn't enough. So with the power of friendship, which is gross, but I don't know, that's where we are today.
Bear stare.
Angazan is so focused on rage that the fact that you worked, let's make it cheesy. I don't care. We've already raised, like, the fact that all of you were able to do this mental affection was so focused on rage, frustration, and anger that the ability for 6 strangers to come together cumulatively and even in danger support each other without knowing each other previously, it's like having opposing sides clash so much that usually when there is just one thing going, it can go smoothly. But with a circle of people who were so natively counterintuitive to that, just out of circumstance, this gem, it is trying to spread this force and this danger. Even when it did grasp hold of someone's mind, that injury was instantly healed by another. The gem itself starts to crack and crumble, and all of you see a glimpse of Angazan's form inside of this gem, shrieking out in rage with a guttural yell, and then it just goes silent as it crumbles to dust. Bye-bye. And you see one last push of this pulsating red energy, but as it's going out further, instead of red, it becomes a soft, gentle blue. You make your way out of the cave, and you see the sky that was previously red turning to a beautiful azure sky. You actually see netted up, covered in lotion. This is a weird image. The silver shepherd, who is looking up, rage, shrieking. And you actually see a torn bit of cloth on Colby's shoulder. But you see that marking almost fade away into magic, and then simply clean, smooth skin. And in the Mwangi expanse, in the area in your blood cove, thanks to you 6 strangers, the reach of Angazan has been destroyed. There is more danger out there, but for now, these people are safe. Well done, adventurers.
Walk outside, and Pelly goes,
"Why is the sky orange?"
So thank you, all of you, for joining me. Thank you, all of you, for joining me on this wild adventure just to start off the Jasper's Game Day stream to support Jasper's Game Day. And thank you again to Paizo for giving us this exciting adventure and this exciting ability to run this session. This was absolutely weird. I had no idea what was going to happen. And it was great. All of without over exaggerating it, all of you have made this an absolutely amazing experience. let's do sign-offs. Anything any of you want to talk about? We're going to start with you, Friday.
It's Friday TV, Twitter, and then you can find me on Killable Press's stream on Tuesdays. We're doing Empire of the Ghouls.
Oh,
nice.
Awesome. And let's go over to Jay.
Hi, everyone. Also known as Jay or Neofat3 on the socials. You can find me lurking in many of the Discords and also in chats on many of the streams. I also have a stream. I am a Star Wars GM, and on my channel, The Emporium for the Wayward Gamer, we will, starting in January and February, we're going to be launching a whole bunch, as well as I do a D&D Saltmarsh on Wednesday nights on that channel, and a few other channels that I'm doing. But Slug Games is coming up in January, so for that. So
let's bring it over to Ron.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for donating today. Really appreciate it. I've been